A very good morning everyone and welcome back down to the Foot Locker half court at Orchard Gateway. We're at B2 of this incredible three-storey Foot Locker store. Foot Locker's largest store in Asia and a real flagship, not just for retail but for sport as well. A fully immersive sporting experience. Thanks to our friends at Foot Locker for having us, and thanks of course to ActiveSG. Here is a look at what lies in store for us today as we concentrate on the girls section, the final round robin matches. We start with Hillcrest Grays B, who are 1-1 up against NYBB, who are 0-2 and unfortunately already eliminated. And then we come on to the Group A favourites. The Singapore Chinese girls squad has been so impressive with their clutch player 𝐓𝐇𝐄. They take on SGLAT B. Technically this group is still alive for 3 of the sides, but the Singapore Chinese girls score in the second game of the morning can put it to bed if they go 3-0. Then we move on to Group B, NAP against SGLAT A. Both those sides already eliminated, which means our fourth match this morning is going to be a cracker because the 2-0 Huskies Pink take on the Hillcrest Grays A team, who are also 2-0, and the equation in that one is quite simple. The winners get a slot in next Saturday's semi-finals. 𝐓𝐇𝐄 𝐏𝐋𝐀𝐘𝐬, arguably the most impressive of the girls team so far with their strong play and the formidable presence of Leka. They are 2-0, taking on SG Basketball White to go into this 1-1. And in the other match in Group C, it's the other Singapore Chinese girls school side who are 1-1 against the 0-2 and already eliminated Kembangan Red. So again, that group is a little bit alive, but a win for 𝐓𝐇𝐄 𝐏𝐋𝐀𝐘𝐬 in the first game in Group C, which is 5th on the court, will see them go through to the semi-finals. And Group D, YTBG will go in as heavy favourites as they take on the 0-2 Singapore Basketball Black side against Chansey Youth and Kembangan Blue, who are both 1-1, so they need to hope that SG Basketball Black can pull off a shock to give them a hope of reaching the semi-finals. And the reason why reaching the semi-finals is so important is because the prizes are incredible. After today's final round robin matches for the girls this morning and the boys this afternoon, we know our 4 group winners, and then the group winners go through to the semi-finals on Saturday. The winners of that go through to the finals and 3rd and 4th place playoffs on Sunday, and the prizes are simply incredible for these young athletes. There is a 1-year product sponsorship from Foot Locker and an exclusive Nike experience for both our boys and girls champions, and there are thousands, literally thousands of Nike vouchers for our runners-up, first runners-up, second runners-up and 3rd runners-up. So the reason why you're watching this, and it's so important, is twofold. One, because these youngsters are really giving it their all to try and win some great prizes, but more importantly from a Singaporean point of view, it's marvellous that the Basketball Association of Singapore and ActiveSG have teamed up to make basketball one of the first sports to come back in these COVID-19 times. This tournament being conducted under very strict COVID-19 safe social distancing measures, every precaution being made to enable us to enjoy live sports again, and how appropriate that it's youth sport that is one of the live sporting events that is first to come back. So boys this afternoon with a 2 p.m. start. The girls this morning will be starting in just a couple of minutes time. They're completing their warm-up, and I'm delighted as we have been joined all week by members of our other partners, the Singapore Slingers Hanbin. Delvin Go was marvellous yesterday, and Joe Ray as well, and this morning we got a real treat because the man that became a cult figure at the SEA Games in the Philippines at the end of last year, Lavin Raj, is alongside me. Lavin, good to have you here, buddy, and I know this is your first look in person at this Foot Locker half court, and you must be really impressed with what you're seeing here. Yeah, I'm really impressed. You know, there are 3 floors here and even a basketball court here, and you know, I gotta say it's pretty impressive. Even the court itself, you know, with the graffiti on the walls and all that, you know, it looks really good. It certainly is a trendy venue. When COVID-19 and hopefully very soon is away and gone, this will be available for groups to book, come down during the weekends or weekdays. It really is going to be I think become sort of an unofficial hub of basketball, particularly amongst the younger members of the community. So many thanks to Foot Locker. Don't forget Lavin Raj and the Singapore Slingers, Singapore's only professional basketball team. Check out the YouTube channel to find out what the Singapore Slingers are doing on their home court. We're waiting for the thumbs up from our production team to go, and we are ready for our first matchup. So here we have Hillcrest Grays with Alison wearing 14 and Lok Ting wearing 27 up against the NYBB girls with Felicia wearing 26 and Chandel wearing 23. And Lavin, I tell you something, I did ask you earlier, you haven't had a chance to see the girls in action yet. You're going to be in for a treat here because I've been blown away by the standard of girls basketball, and straight off the bat both teams go 100% with their early shooting. Look at those moves, and the layup misses. from 𝐓𝐇𝐄. Hillcrest Graves will go into this as favourite. So again, I'm going to let you enjoy the first couple of minutes of this, Lavin, and then tell me how impressed you are, because the tactical and technical awareness, I think, amongst these girls is what's really impressed me. And what are your first impressions for 53 seconds in?
You know, after watching them for 53 seconds, I can see that, you know, they are really, like, they have a really mature level understanding of the game, you know, like passing and cutting and all that, you know, at 17 years old. So, you know, I'm really looking forward to more. Yeah,
wait till you see some of the girls later. OC and the Singapore Chinese Girls School basketball team, really impressive. They, with a win today in the second game, can qualify. First free throw is shot and made by Allison to give Hillcrest Grays a 2-1 advantage. Hillcrest Grays need to win, and they need to win big here realistically to have any hope at all, relying on the big shock from 𝐓𝐇𝐄 that might come. A reminder, if the group has 3 teams that finish on 2-1, which is possible a couple of times throughout the course of today, it goes down to points differential. Head-to-head can be a factor, but of course head-to-head really doesn't count when there are 3 teams tied on 2-1. They operate on a 14-second shot clock, and remember, the game clock doesn't stop unless they go to the free throw line. So that means, Lavin, that the action comes thick and fast, and these girls and boys need some serious stamina to get through what's a very intense 10 minutes of play. So Hillcrest Grays turning over possession to NYBB. Hillcrest Grays, who managed to get the better of 𝐓𝐶𝐄 but went down to the Singapore Chinese Girls School. Some really great games yesterday. Another turnover on possession. These turnovers are coming thick and fast after an initial scoring flurry through the first 60 seconds. We've been scoreless for a minute now. Missing with that layup was 𝐓𝐇𝐄. And the referees, shout out to Charlton and JL. Referees have been excellent as well, Lavin, although a couple of them getting a bit trigger happy on calling travelling. So I think it's a bit harsh. Tend to see in 2-on-2 and 3-on-3 the referees being a little bit more lenient, but they have called the fouls and they've needed to be called. Are you a 2-on-2 or 3-on-3 fan, Lavin, or do you prefer the 5-on-5 game?
I mean, I really loved the 3-on-3 game when I was younger, probably about a couple of years back. There used to be a lot of 3-on-3 competitions for my age group when I was under 18. Yeah, I used to take part in most of them. And, you know, it's definitely fun playing the half court, and you know, there's more spacing and stuff. Yeah, so it's one of my favorites. I do watch the FIBA 3-on-3s that's been going on recently, you know, and it's really a nice game.
First 2-point attempt is taken by 𝐓𝐶𝐄 of Hillcrest Grays. Now the ball back with NYBB, with Felicia. They've got their coach Cindy in the background, but Coach Cindy has to be careful. We've had a couple of coaches called for technicals because of their coaching outside the court, which they're not allowed to do, of course, because of the safe distancing in place. No coaches, only the players and officials allowed inside the cage. These fouls are starting to rack up. It's a 3-1 lead for Hillcrest Grays. Remember, they need to win big, really, to have a hope of going through. That pass dropped initially by Felicia, who recovers well, though. Good recovery from Felicia, and they get it back to within 1. 1:12 to play in the first period here. You're watching the live action from the playoffs, a 2-on-2 basketball tournament brought to you by ActiveSG and the Basketball Association of Singapore, with our broadcast partners One Play Sports, the Singapore Slingers, and of course our headline sponsors from Foot Locker have put up, along with Nike, some of those incredible prizes. Drawing a foul, NYBB, who are staying competitive here. They trail 4-2, but will go to the line to reduce the arrears to just 1. Felicia, first free throw attempt for her. Oh, bounces in and out, and the rebound picked up by the Grays. Oh, nice footwork, lovely finish, what a basket, what a score from 𝐓𝐶𝐄. And they're just staying a couple of points ahead here. One more score and it'll become effectively a 2-possession game. Look at the defense there, but the foul drawn. She doesn't like that position, does she? They're learning young to give the referees the quizzical looks without showing dissent. Allison not too impressed with Charlton's call there, but they go to the line for the second time in 10 seconds. NYBB Shandell doesn't make the extra. And we're now just like that into the final 24 seconds. When we get our 60-second break midway through this, I'm going to be asking Lavin about the latest news from the Singapore Slingers. Oh, big shot attempted there by 𝐓𝐇𝐄. And they called for the travelling. So I think that's our first travel call today. That'll be the first of many, I'm sure. So NYBB, they've got 6 seconds left. Clock management is arguably been the only weakness of the girls section. That will come with time, Lavin, because obviously these girls just concentrating on playing the game in the right way. I mean, I never know how you guys do that, looking up and seeing the scoreboard. That's an art form in itself to check how much time you've got left.
Usually we got our teammates on the bench, you know, shouting out the shot clock. So most of the time we try to take a look at the shot clock so that we are aware of the how many seconds we have left.
Yeah, of course, these girls have got no one to shout the clock.
And the shot clock isn't really as big as the one in the game, Slingers game, yeah. So
yeah, it's quite small, isn't it? That scoreboard shot clock behind the basket. So tell us what's happening with the Singapore Slingers, because we caught up yesterday with Delvin. Hopefully the plan is to play in some kind of bubble in the early part of next year and get you guys back on the court.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. Probably early next year, you know, we're going to have some... the news just came out recently on the ABL website that we're going to have a couple of tournaments in different countries where teams come down to play, and it's going to be like different groups, and the top teams of this group are going to clash off in the finals, like sort of in another country. Yeah, so it's going to be like a point system with Group A, Group B, and the top group's going to play a game.
Excellent. Of course, Singapore Slingers, having made the finals of 3 of the last 4 seasons, will be one of the red-hot favourites to bring more success to Singapore. Great to have Lavin Raj with us. Right, second period's underway. 3-point lead for the Hillcrest Greys, looking to go 2-1 and keep a slim hope alive of qualification. Next up, the Singapore Chinese Girls School. Oh my word, that's gone up and around. I think we're lucky to get that ball back in the end. And it's just occurred to me, because I'm a cynic by nature, I wonder if the players will start using those tactics. I think it might happen when the stakes get very high, because with that game clock not stopping, particularly in the final stages, is a long-range 1-pointer is off the rim from the Greys. NYBB coming back. And again, a foul called, this time an offensive foul against Felicia. Hands possession back to Hillcrest Greys. Allison gets it to 𝐓𝐇𝐄, who's been lethal around the paint. And she gets the offensive rebound as well. The rebounding has been so impressive. You wait till you see this next game we've got after this. The Singapore Chinese Girls School, SC BBQ they're calling themselves. They're one of 2 teams entered into this against 𝐓𝐇𝐄, and they've got 𝐓𝐇𝐄, who is so intense as a player, and she comes up with big clutch shots. They'll be up next. That one, is it going to drop? No. Picked up on the rebound by 𝐓𝐇𝐄. Goes for 2, but a travel called just before the shot. And again, look at that look. I tell you what, Alison, every time she gets a foul called on her, she's giving our referee Charlton the death stare, but with a smile that means she can get away with it. Felicia gets it to Shandell. Shandell being well marshalled, forced to go for a long-range effort, and with 3:17 to go and leading by 3, NYBB have got to find something here. Really a 2-pointer at this point would make it very interesting. That one pops in and out, and it's picked up by Felicia. Felicia, oh, nice footwork. Just has the ball stolen off her though. The feet were perfect, the handling not so. And 𝐓𝐿𝐄 under the basket. It's missed by Allison, so we're still awaiting our first score. We've got a scoreless first couple of minutes of this second period, which means NYBB are still in their pitching, but they need to find some baskets and ideally maybe a 2 from somewhere. Here's 𝐓𝐇𝐄. They're up to 5 fouls now, Hillcrest Greys. The fouls in this don't really become evident until the 8th, 9th and 10th fouls that are called, and I don't think we've had that so far, and we haven't yet, Lavin, had a game that called on 21 points. I think that might happen with the boys later on. We've come close. I think we've had an 18-point score from one team. That was a bit of improvisation from Allison. Up and over. She comes again. And the shot clock expires. Yeah, it seems like a long time, 14 seconds, doesn't it, Lavin? But when you've got guards coming so close to you and forcing you out wide, it soon evaporates quickly.
Yeah, definitely.
2-point attempt. If this goes, it gets interesting. Not a million miles away either. from Shandell. They have to start taking chances to get back into this. It's a 3-point game. Still we await a bucket in this second period. So we've got a low scoring matchup here. I've got a feeling our next game will be higher scoring than this as the clock continues to roll with 90 seconds to play. And Hillcrest Grays crucially in possession. Another one here, another bucket here, and I think they can pretty much claim this. Foot on the line there, so that will only have counted for one. Out of bounds possession will switch round to NYBB. Nanyang Basketball. Here's Felicia. Lovely hand stuck in by Addison, disrupts the flow. Picked up by Lok Tieng, who's been the star of this Hillcrest Grey show, ably supported by Addison. Oh, Addison, nice feint, and with a layup, and that should just about do it. 4-point game with only 46 seconds to play, and the Hillcrest Greys are going to finish 2-1, but they'll have to rely on a shock scoreline. And I don't think, in all truth, the 6-2 margin of victory is going to be enough to improve their points difference enough, but we shall see. If they win by 4 points, as is looking likely here, their points differential will go to +7, and that means that the Singapore Chinese Girls School basketball team could afford to lose by 2 points to Siglat B and still go through. So every point is precious. If they can get a 2-pointer here as time's about to expire, can still give them a squeak. They won't get 2, but they'll get 1 as time expired, and that will count. So they'll finish +8 on their points differential with a 2-1. Congratulations as well to NYBB, who've competed very hard throughout these championships, but the equation now is quite simple. Up next, the Singapore Chinese Girls School need to win and they go through, and even a narrow defeat would still see them qualify. Hillcrest Greys beat NYBB by a score of 7-2. Congratulations to both pairs of girls, and we'll be back next with the Singapore Chinese Girls School and Siglat B to close out Group A in the playoffs 2020, a 2-on-2 basketball tournament brought to you by ActiveSG, our good friends at Foot Locker, our prize suppliers at Nike, with our official broadcast partners at One Play Sports, and our basketball partners at the Basketball Association of Singapore and the Singapore Slingers. Lavin Raj and myself will be back for the second game in just under 5 minutes' time.
Life. Is it about looking perfect? Eating perfect? Or is it simply about trying? A little at a time. Living life to the fullest. So that at the end of the day, we can tell ourselves, I'm doing a little better today than I did yesterday. Because hey, better beats perfect.
Elliott in the corner as they spread it. Alexander, fingertip through the basket. Xavier Alexander time again, going downhill, challenging Stevens Thomas at the rim, and Elliott slides through. Back to Alexander. Downstairs it goes. Wide open look on that left-hand side. Elliott! Boyd knocked away again. Singapore has it. Fleck in the open court. Takes it to the hole. And that might just do it. The long arms of Leon Fleck to jump, anticipate, and jump in that passing lane. Leads to a fast break.
With Active Health, there are so many ways to kickstart your journey. So really, why not make the choice to enjoy active living? You can just pop by our Active Health Labs for fitness and health assessments. To learn and adopt habits to achieve your goals. And you can always get quick self-assessments using ActiveFit and more. You're also welcome to connect with us at our events. Our family of sport champions and experts will be here to guide you. Come team up with us at ActiveSG and Active Health programs. There are plenty of interest groups for all ages, as well as spaces to explore and get together. Move better. Eat better. Rest better. Assess your fitness and health. Connect with our Active Health family of experts and advocates. Team up with your family and friends to be better together. Act now to get started at betterbeatsperfect.sg.
Welcome back live to the Foot Locker half court here at Orchard Gateway. It is the playoffs 2-on-2 basketball tournament 2020, brought to you by ActiveSG, our official sponsor Foot Locker, our prize sponsor at Nike, our broadcast partner at One Play Sports, and our supporting partners at the Basketball Association of Singapore and the Singapore Slingers. And we're delighted to have Singapore slinger Lavin Raj joining us on commentary for these final round robin girls matches on the morning session. And Lavin, you've seen one match. What are you making of it so far? It's impressive stuff, isn't it? Not just the intensity, but the tactical and technical awareness of these girls.
Yeah, definitely. It's really intense, and you know they are really putting in all their effort, and there's really a lot of body contact in the game, and you know they are really pushing it. And how do I say it? You know, it's definitely for 17 years old. They are really impressive.
Some of them younger, right?
Yeah,
15 to 17 the age bracket here.
Yeah.
Incredible. Now this is interesting. We've just seen Hillcrest Grays go to 2-1. They finished their points difference on +3 because the points they scored and the points difference they earned against NYBB doesn't count. Because obviously NYBB are eliminated, so if it goes to points difference, it's only concerning the teams that are in that mix. Oh, there's a big score early. Where's that come from? Siglap B out to an absolute stormer. Amelia landing the deuce right out the gate inside the first 10 seconds. And here's me anointing the Singapore Chinese Girls School as the Red Hot favourites to go out and qualify from Group A. Remember, they're 2-0 going into this, but a win for Siglap B here could still make things interesting. Hillcrest Grays will be cheering on Siglap B, make no doubt about that, as the Singapore Chinese Girls School get off the mark early. And how about that for sharp shooting out the gate without getting yourself acclimatised, Lavin? And they'll go to the line here to get a point, and it will be Shane from the free throw line to open up a 2-point lead. That one misses by quite a way, and it's picked up by the most intense player you'll see on court, 𝐓𝐇𝐄, wearing number 10 for SC. Ah, there you go. What a response that is. Another deuce reply by Rusin. My word, they're having their long-range shooting matchup out there early here as that 2-pointer hits the roof. Remember, if it hits the roof, it's classified as out of bounds in this very confined space here. Here's 𝐓𝐇𝐄 with the layup attempt, running away from the basket. She's off target, and Shane and Amelia of 𝐓𝐇𝐄 trying to cause some damage here. But clearly the message has gone out that they've been given the green light from their coaches to shoot from range here. That was really well worked in tight quarters. Rebound by 𝐓𝐇𝐄, gets it back to Rusin. They lead by 1 in a game that if they win, they'll qualify for the semi-finals of Singapore Chinese Girls' School. Offensive rebound is good from Rusin, and they've stretched out to a 2-point lead now. Remember, if we need overtime in these games, if the scores are tied after the 2 5-minute period, the girls will play an unlimited time set of overtime, and it'll be the first one to score 2 points. Oh, look at this aggression. Wonderful aggression shown by Shane. Eventually a bit too much aggression. She's called for the foul. On the drive, Rusin tries the layup, no good. Brought back out by Shane. Long range 1-pointer is good. Some of the shooting, Lavin, it's sensational.
These sharp shooters.
And that gets the score back to within 1. So slightly nervous here for the Singapore Chinese Girls' School. They're going to tie this up. How about that for a drive and a layup from Amelia? And all like of a sudden, 𝐓𝐇𝐄, who themselves have got a slim chance of qualifying, tie this one up. 𝐓𝐶 misses. I don't think anyone saw this coming, because Singapore Chinese Girls' School had a big win yesterday by 11 points to 3. But of course that points difference doesn't count because it was against the team NYBB who are already eliminated. That one is wide right from Rusin. And 𝐓𝐶 are going hard here. Shot clock down to 3. They're going to have to get this away. Shot clock violation on the way. Don't get it up in time. She had to battle so hard, Amelia, to create the space, but the time she got under the basket, the time had expired. So with 1:35 left in the first, 𝐓𝐶 drives through, and that won't drop. Defensive rebound picked up by Amelia. This is really tense stuff here as we look to see who our first semi-finalists will be ahead of next Saturday's big semi-finals and Sunday's grand finals. Oh, lovely passing, lovely pass. That deserved the bucket, but it was no good from Shane. The work that Amelia is doing here, she's having some game, and the Singapore Chinese Girls' School have got to do more. That 2-point attempt off the rim by Rusin, and the defensive rebound from Amelia, who was trying to drive 𝐓𝐶 kicking and screaming into an unlikely semi-final berth. That one just off the rim from Shane. Into the final 60 seconds we go of what's been an absorbing first period that's tied at 4. 𝐓𝐶 for 2, long way off. This is tense, Lavin. Who, if you had to name a winner now, I put Delvin and Jaren on the spot a couple of times yesterday. Who do you think's going to win this one? And what you've seen so far, with still 5 minutes 35 to play.
I mean, from what I see, it could be anybody's. It could be anybody's game. You know, for what's the other team? It's
Singapore Chinese Girls' School and 𝐓𝐶 𝐓𝐶 in the green.
𝐓𝐶, they really have some really good shooting, and as you can see, for SCBB, you know, they are really good at driving to the basket and finishing off with a layup. So, you know, it's going to be tough. I'm not really sure who's gonna be winning.
Yeah, they need to hurry up and get this restarted, because the Singapore Chinese Girls' School have a precious 1-point lead, and I don't know whether that's deliberate, but that's what I mean about game management, just to let this clock run down. That was clever stuff by the Singapore Chinese Girls' School. This 𝐓𝐶, the intensity she shows out there on the court, they lead by 1 in a game that if they win, they'll be through to the semi-finals, where they'll take on the winners of Group B, which at the moment, well, will it be Shandong Culture? They're the only 2-0 team in Group B, and if they win in the 4th game on the court against SG Basketball White, they will go through. That's in Group C. Group B is up next. We start with NAP against 𝐓𝐇𝐄 𝐏𝐋𝐀𝐘𝐎𝐅𝐅𝐒, 2 teams that are already eliminated, and then a game where the winner takes all, Huskies Pink against Hillcrest Greys A. That one is due on court in around about 15 to 20 minutes time. Here though, chomping at the bit to get going is Amelia, who's played some really hard basketball for 𝐓𝐇𝐄 in this first period, but they've got to come from behind to try and pull off the shot win against the Group A favourites, the Singapore Chinese Girls School. So the girls are keen to get on with it. The final 5 seconds counts down, and Charlton, our referee, will get things restarted. 5 minutes on the clock, 5 minutes left of the round robin stage for the Singapore Chinese Girls School and 𝐓𝐇𝐄. It will be Rushin of SC BBQ to get us underway. Here's O'Shea, shows and goes. Can she get the shot away? Yes she can, and it goes down. What a play to start the second period from O'Shea, and it's a 2-point lead. And I think if they can make this a 2-possession game, the Singapore Chinese Girls School, they're going to be very hard to beat. They won't get a chance to make it a 2-point game yet though, because that offensive rebound and the +1. The play from Amelia there was simply sensational. And just as I'm turning my attention to the Singapore Chinese Girls School getting a 2-possession lead, going to the line to tie it up once again will be Amelia. They are dogged, they are rough, they are tough, but they are not level. Amelia misses with the extras, and that is a let-off for the Singapore Chinese Girls School. They reset with Rushin, goes for 2! Off the roof, out of bounds. They'll turn it over to 𝐓𝐇𝐄. I'm on the edge of my seat here, Lavin. This is tight.
Yeah, it's really intense.
Is there anything Amelia can't do? Fades back, she might have to shoot from range. Shot clock at 7. And she turns it over. That was a mistake from the pocket rocket of 𝐓𝐇𝐄, Amelia. Here's O'Shea. Goes for 2. Thought for a minute they had a chance in flight, but it faded away rather dramatically. And they just can't put 𝐓𝐇𝐄 to bed here. We'll have 𝐓𝐇𝐄 next up, incidentally, so back-to-back matches for the 𝐓𝐇𝐄 girls. But the 𝐓𝐇𝐄 team in action here are fighting for their lives against the Singapore Chinese Girls School. O'Shea with the layup, no good. Defensive rebound picked up by Shane. Another point to level it up. And that will turn possession back over. But this is tight. Amelia can't get it done this time. Defensive rebound, Rushin. Rushin down the outside, trying to use that strength. The first beautiful basket, and the 2-point lead is restored, and that gives them just a little bit more wiggle room and breathing space. They'll know they can't be overhauled on a 1-possession play now. And they get the immediate turnover as well. Can they stretch this lead to 1.5 possessions? Yes, they can. Beautiful jumper from O'Shea, and this is what they've done so well, the Singapore Chinese Girls School BBQ team throughout this competition, and they've been clutch down the stretch, and in these second periods they've been so tough to beat.
Yeah, definitely you have to be more focused in the second period, especially because there's, you know, especially these 2-on-2s, there's only 5 minutes, so gotta lock it down.
Oh, big 2-pointer, comes short again. 3 points in it, 2:16. The clock is now not really 𝐓𝐇𝐄's friend. Here's Amelia again. She's been that standout for 𝐓𝐇𝐄 in this. She can't nail the basket there, and that's going to be a foul on O'Shea. I hope she's okay. She takes a nasty tumble, having collided with Shane, and they will call timeout. We've been blessed that we haven't had too many bad injuries so far. And luckily O'Shea is on her feet, and she's a tough warrior, a tough competitor. And they lead by 3, so it'll be interesting to see, of course, in 2-on-2, if she would have to leave the court, it becomes 2-on-1. There's no quarter given in that regard. She's been given plenty of time. This medical setup here is absolutely first class, not just with the COVID-19 protocol, but with the medical professionals on hand to check all the boys and girls if they pick up any knocks. And I tell you what, I would have put the mortgage on that, and quite rightly O'Shea is up. She is not the kind of girl, I don't think, to be not wanting to continue. So we're back to normal. Rushin now is going to have to carry the load down the stretch, and she does that brilliantly. They're out now by 4, and that is the breathing room that they needed. I can't see them losing it from here, Lavin, and that's what you need in 2-on-2. You know your teammate is just gone down carrying a knock, so it's the other player that picks up the slack and does all the hard work herself, and that's what they're doing brilliantly here. Well, what about this? Rushin, knowing that O'Shea has that slight ankle knock, is dominating. And this is another example of the Singapore Chinese Girls School dominating down the stretch. We're into the final minute and a half, and they are going to be our first confirmed semi-finalists. And on one leg, O'Shea gets another basket. They're on now a 5-0 run, the Singapore Chinese Basketball Girls, and they are taking this home. And on what you've seen so far, I know it's early, Lavin, you've got to see some other great teams, including the likes of the Huskies and Shengon Culture. Incidentally, Delvin Go, he thinks the Huskies Pink are going to win it all. So I'll be interested to see your thoughts after you've seen a couple more matches. But they're setting a high standard here, the Singapore Chinese Basketball Girls, as our first semi-finalists.
Yeah, they definitely got some good moves, you know. You know, at 17 years old, I didn't think for myself, I didn't think I could be playing like that.
As time on the shot clock expired, the bucket goes down, but the whistle had already gone. It won't count. Final 30 seconds. Both these girls have competed hard. They started on Thursday night here, played their second round robin game yesterday, and are closing out their campaign in style. We won't unfortunately see any more of Siglat B, but they have done themselves and their club proud with a strong display, including a big win against NYBB. That one is not going to count as we go to 12-5. A big win for the Singapore Chinese Girls School SCBBQ, and they are through to the semi-finals. Congratulations to O'Shea and Rushin, and there'll be a force for anyone in the semi-finals, Lavin Raj.
Yeah, definitely.
So Singapore Chinese Girls School are through. Next up, we turn our attention to Group B. NAP and Siglat A are first on the court from Group B. They're both 0-2 and already eliminated, and that builds up nicely to the Hillcrest Greys A team against Huskies Pink, the two 2-0 sides going into battle with the winner taking it all, and the semi-final slot where they'll play the Singapore Chinese Girls School, who've just come through in a classic, patented now by them, strong stretch run. Stay with us. We're coming to you live from the Foot Locker half court here at the Foot Locker store in Orchard Gateway. This tournament brought to you by ActiveSG, our official sponsor of Foot Locker, our event sponsors and prize sponsors at Nike, our broadcast partners at One Play Sports, and our supporting partners, the fine people at the Basketball Association of Singapore, and of course Lavin Raj's Singapore Slingers. Live sport is back in Singapore, and the Basketball Association of Singapore and ActiveSG are leading the way. Stay with us. We'll be back on court in just a couple of moments' time.
Life. Is it about looking perfect? Eating perfect? Or is it simply about trying? A little at a time. Living life to the fullest. So that at the end of the day, we can tell ourselves, I'm doing a little better today than I did yesterday. Because hey, better beats perfect.
Elliott in the corner as they spread it. Alexander, fingertip through the basket.
Xavier Alexander time again, going downhill, challenging Steve Thomas at the rim. And
Elliott slides through, back to Alexander. Downstairs it goes, wide open look on that left-hand side. Elliott! Boyd knocked away again. Singapore has it. Fleck in the open court. Takes it to the hole, and that might just do it.
the long arms of 𝐓𝐇𝐄 to jump, anticipate, and jump in that passing lane leads to a fast break.
With Active Health, there are so many ways to kickstart your journey. So really, why not make the choice to enjoy active living? You can just pop by our Active Health Labs for fitness and health assessments. To learn and adopt habits to achieve your goals. And you can always get quick self-assessments using ActiveFit and more. You're also welcome to connect with us at our events. Our family of sport champions and experts will be here to guide you. Come team up with us at ActiveSG and Active Health programs. There are plenty of interest groups for all ages, as well as spaces to explore and get together.
Welcome back live to the Foot Locker Half Court here at Orchard Gateway. What a 4 days of competition we have had, and there's still plenty more to come. We're into the second of 16 games coming your way live across the ActiveSG Facebook page with our broadcast partners OnePlay Sports. ActiveSG bringing live competitive sport back to the Lion City State, and how good is it that basketball is the sport that is in action, and what's more, we've got youth players strutting their stuff. We've already seen the Singapore Chinese Girls School #SCBBQ go through from Group A. Now we turn our attention to Group B. The winners of this group, remember, will play the Singapore Chinese Girls School in next Saturday's semi-finals. This match-up as we go for a big two to kick things off from the white shoes of Isbel. This matchup unfortunately concerns two teams who've played hard and played well but are already eliminated. It leads up to the 2-0 clash between the Huskies Pink and Hillcrest Greys A, which is next on the court. But Lavin, as you can see from the way these girls have started, even though they're already eliminated, they're still giving it absolutely everything.
Yeah, definitely you got to give it all, no matter the outcome of the game.
So, who's going to come out on top and avoid that dreaded wooden spoon? Siglap A and NAP. NAP have Isbel with the white shoes and Beatrice with the red. No numbers for them. Siglap A have Ziwei wearing 19 and Jolene wearing 28. But early on, it's the girls from NAP that are coming on strong. Siglap A with the lead though, with 55 seconds already rubbed off the clock, and Siglap now with a chance to extend this lead. Turnover possession. Jolene. Nice layup. So we're level in the game, where if you didn't know the league table and scores here, the standard is so good here, you wouldn't know that these two teams are already eliminated, Lavin, would you?
Yeah.
Making strong starts. Talk us through, Lavin, you know, let's hear about how you got into basketball as a youngster and how you developed, you know, with the help of Sports Singapore, and obviously how you went from just being a kid passionate like some of these youngsters are about basketball to becoming a Singapore slinger and a national team athlete. How did it happen for you?
So it all started out when I was in primary school. Yeah, so I was about 7 years old, and back then when I was 7 years old, I was already pretty tall. I was about 1'4" to 1'5" And so my form teacher in my class was actually the teacher in charge for the basketball CCA. So she was like, why not give a shot for basketball, give it a try. At the start I wasn't really interested, but 2 years later, there was a new teacher in charge for the basketball CCA, and she told me, why not you come down and watch a match, watch like the seniors play, and see if you're interested to take part. After watching the game, I told myself, what, why not just give it a shot? And that's how it all started. Back then when I was 8 to 9 years old.
And then how helpful were Sports Singapore, and what kind of support did you have behind you to help you sort of go from just being passionate and a very good player at a young age to eventually, making money from it, becoming a professional athlete?
When I was 15 years old, I was first called up for the National Youth Program. Yeah, so that was where it all started with the national team and SportsSG. And at 16 years old, they pushed me to the men's team. And training with the men's team definitely helped me to improve my game and even get to the professional level. Yeah, so that's how it all started.
And of course now you're established as a Singapore slinger, and were part of the Singapore SEA Games squad in the Philippines at the end of last year, and let's hope we get to see you at the SEA Games in Hanoi. There's plenty of time for those hopefully to be arranged and take place.
Yep.
The end of 2021, already 2021, where's the last year gone? Meanwhile back here it's a tied game, nip and tuck, no sides able to open up so far. Well, that's a block from the shot from Beatrice. It will send them to the line. So 𝐓𝐇𝐄 to put Siglap back in front. They've never trailed in this game, and now they lead again. The free throw drops. Low scoring period though, 1:25 to play. These teams playing to avoid the wooden spoon in Group B. Whoever wins will finish third. Whoever loses will be bottom of the pile in what's been a very competitive Group B. Lovely layup with tied once more with 1:05 on the clock, and that was just as time expired on the shot clock as well, which made it even more impressive. Jolene, no good. Picked up by Beatrice. She looks to try and bring in Isbel. Isbel, will she go for two here? She's got plenty of time and space off the rim, and the rebound bounces all the way back to the edge of the arc and is picked up by Jolene. Jolene under the basket, good improvisation, but can't get that ball down in the hoop. Look at that for a pass. Love that pass from Isbel. Beatrice back to Isbel. This passenger play deserves a point. It won't get one though. The intensity is what really takes me back, Lavin. I must admit, when we started on Thursday, I thought, well, both the girls and boys, there'll be some real strong individual talent on display, but the teamwork might not be there, and the technical side and the tactical side won't be there, but you can see how intense it is. And these two teams, remember, are playing only for pride now, already eliminated.
Yeah, it's definitely intense.
Final 6 seconds of this first period. It's tied at 3 each, and it looks like we're going to go to half-time here, with this one still very much in the balance. NAP 3, Siglap A3, and all four girls have strutted their stuff to good effect. Isbel, Beatrice for NAP, 𝐓𝐇𝐄 and Jolene for Siglap A. There was none of this around when you were growing up, and obviously there were always a fair number of basketball courts around the HDB estates in Singapore. Obviously that number in the last 10 years has exploded. I mean, you can't really walk through an HDB estate without seeing a basketball court, and more importantly seeing a basketball court with people playing on it. But these kind of initiatives would only help young people who are obviously like to come to Orchard Road at the weekends, and when COVID-19 is hopefully safely a thing of the past, they can be coming down here at the weekends and playing in a really good environment. It's only going to encourage basketball in Singapore, these kind of initiatives from Foot Locker.
Yeah, definitely. I can't emphasize much more, but it's a really nice court. I'm definitely looking forward to try and shoot some hoops in this.
Yeah, you're gonna because you're a VIP with your slinger status. You are actually going to be able to shoot out there later. There's a couple of other slingers coming down later on, that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Who's on the way later from the slingers?
JY and John will be here later.
Looking forward to welcoming more slingers down. Of course, I remember, unfortunately, we can't encourage you. Please God, next year when we have this tournament, we're all encouraging you to come down, but we must stress we're not encouraging you to come down. In fact, we're asking you to stay away just for today, because while you can come down and have a look inside the Foot Locker store, we need to limit the number of people in and around the venue here, so we comply, as we have been doing all the way through the week, with the strict COVID-19 protocols. Oh, what about that for a layup on the run? As NAP go in front for the first time. Beatrice and Isbel, they haven't got numbers on their shirts, but they've got no end of hustle here. And NAP coming on strong at the start of this second period. Can they open up by 2? Not this time, bounces in and out. Nobody seemed to want a piece of that rebound. It eventually comes to Jolene. And possession will come back to Siglap, who are trailing by 1. Jolene goes for the sweets. How close can you get without it dropping? Oh, that was a good pickup. Really good awareness from Isbel and Beatrice to turn over. 1 foot inside, so that was only a 1-point attempt. Rebound comes back out to Jiwei. Can they tie it up here? The physicality shown by Jolene there, brilliant, and she'll draw the foul as well. She'll go to the line to level things up once more. Yeah, this is no quarter asked and none given. Jolene. Ah, nice bucket. And they open up by 2. That's the biggest lead. Only needed of more than 1 point in the game so far. NAP, who've been on the receiving end of a couple of quite heavy defeats, so for them to bounce back and potentially get something here, they were beaten 10-3 by the Huskies Pinks girls yesterday, so this is some response. Oh my word, what a layup on the run again. And now all of a sudden it's a 2-possession lead. I mean, for those people that don't play basketball on a regular basis, Lavin, those layups, you know, running away from the basket that they've executed a couple of times here in AP, that is not an easy skill to master, is it?
Yeah, that is not easy, because there's a defender in front of you and you're moving away from the basket, so you know your accuracy really drops when you're moving away from the basket, so it's difficult. It's a difficult shot.
Good work on the offensive rebound. They've had 2 or 3 goes at this now. And finally Siglap, who I think might start pulling the trigger on some 2s in a minute, because time is rapidly switching as the foul is called, I think, there for the accidental trip. Luckily Jiwei is on her feet and all okay. Down to the final 2 minutes we trot. It's NAP by 3. Siglap A looking to avoid the wooden spoon. That's off the rim and out of bounds. Reminder, up next, immediately following this matchup, it's the other Group B clash, and it's a battle of the 2 teams that are 2-0. Huskies Pink and 𝐓𝐇𝐄 𝐏𝐋𝐀𝐘𝐬. Whoever wins that will face the Singapore Chinese Girls School, #SCBBQ, in next Saturday's semi-final. So in around about 15 minutes time we will know our first semi-final matchup. Oh! I think it was accidental, judging from her reaction, but I think that's indicative of how Jolene's probably feeling, because nothing really going right for Siglap A in this one. They trail by 3, and I think I saw a little glance up to the clock by Isbel and Beatrice there, so they're conscious now that with a 3-point lead and with the game clock not stopping, you should be really able, if you were going to be cynical, and I know you're a professional player, so you are cynical, you could close this out now, leading by 3. The games and tricks you guys would play if the game clock kept on running.
We'll definitely hold the ball out longer, you know, and wait until it goes to about 4 seconds before we, or 3 seconds before we get a shot up, so we can waste more time. So that's a skill.
Needs something to happen. It doesn't drop that 1-point attempt from Jiwei, and that could be their last chance here at redemption. It's going to be NAP, who finished with a 1-2 record, to finish 3rd in Group B. Siglap A will finish 4th. Who will finish 1st and 2nd, though? We'll find out in a moment. Huskies Pink against 𝐓𝐶 𝐏𝐋𝐀𝐬, 2 2-0 teams battling it out next. Siglap driving up to the basket. and get the +1, do they? They will. So hold on a second. Here am I awarding the points to NAP. If 𝐓𝐇𝐄 can land this, there's 21 seconds on the game clock, so they will have time even if NAP use the full possession to get the ball again. There's a slight graze on the knee to 𝐓𝐇𝐄. So it's actually Jolene, I think. No, 𝐓𝐇𝐄 it is that's got the graze on the knee, so that's just being dealt with by the medical team. Game clock has stopped, so that might also, Lavin, give us a chance to talk about the scenario here. They trail 6-4. They're about to go to the line to make it 6-5. 21 seconds on the game clock, 14-second shot clock, so they will still have a chance here.
Yeah, as long as they play good defense and
the free throw has to go though.
Free throw has to go, yeah.
Now, and you can see on the court how does this help the free throw shooter though, this delay? I mean, it's a bit like icing the kicker in American football, this, isn't it? And we see coaches at your level, at ABL level all the time, calling time out to try and ice the free throw shooter. Would this help or hinder, do you think, this delay?
It could be both ways. It could help her to focus a little more.
So
make the free throw.
This is a big shot for Jolene, and it's not gone down, and that could just about be that. They've got to hustle and try and get the turnover very quickly here, and they won't manage to do that. And now, with the clock not stopping, there's 7 seconds on the shot clock and 7 seconds on the game clock, so they won't get another possession by right here. Remember, they need 2 to tie, and that will be the game. On the buzzer, the point will be good. A 7-4 win for NAP sees them avoid the wooden spoon. They finish third in Group B. Siglape, despite the spirited efforts of 𝐓𝐇𝐄 and Jolene, finished fourth. Congratulations to both sets of girls for a wonderful 3 days of action here at the 2-on-2 playoff tournament, brought to you by ActiveSG, with our official sponsors Foot Locker, our prize sponsors of Nike, our broadcast partners at One Play Sports, and our supporting partners at the Basketball Association of Singapore and the Singapore Slingers. Lavin Raj is still with me, and he'll be joining me on commentary for the biggest game of the day so far next. The 2-0 Huskies Pink take on the 2-0 Hillcrest Greys A team to decide who will win Group B. The winner takes it all and plays the Singapore Chinese Girls School SC BBQ team in next Saturday's semi-final. Stay with us.
Elliott in the corner as they spread it. Alexander, fingertip through the basket.
Xavier Alexander time again, going downhill, challenging Steams Thomas at the rim. And
Elliott slides through, back to Alexander. Downstairs it goes, wide open look on that left-hand side. Elliott! Boyd knocked away again. Singapore has it. Fleck in the open court. Takes it to the hole, and that might just do it.
the long arms of 𝐓𝐇𝐄 to jump, anticipate, and jump in that passing lane leads to a fast break.
Welcome back live to the Foot Locker half court here at Orchard Gateway. This incredible Foot Locker store, a flagship store of Foot Locker in Asia. It's the largest one. 5 stories of retail and sporting fun, not just all about the shopping either. as you can see from this incredible sporting facility that they've very kindly, for basketball fans in Singapore, put in the basement of their store at B2 level. When COVID clears up and we're all back to normal, get yourself down here and enjoy a wonderful setting for basketball. So this is the highlight of the day so far. Lavin Raj, the Singapore slinger, is alongside me. The Huskies pink, with Ling Xing wearing number 8 and Jing Xian wearing number 10, up against the Hillcrest Greys A team, 𝐓𝐇𝐄 27 and Dawn wearing, just check what number Dawn's wearing today. She's wearing number 11. And Lavin, I can tell you now, Delvin Goh is in love with the Huskies pinks. He thinks they're going to go all the way and win it. They've got that wonderful attitude, and 𝐓𝐇𝐄 and Dawn are standing in their way. Both teams 2-0, the winner goes through. So I'm very interested to see what you make of the standard here as we await the first basket. The defense is really strong, but how about that for the finish from Dawn to give the Hillcrest Greys A team an early lead. And you can see the intensity here is up there, Lavin.
Yes, and they have a lot of fans too.
Well, just to clarify, they've got a lot of fans. There's only a couple because we're not encouraging big crowds. So I think they've got their coach and one other who are allowed to be here to observe social distancing, and they're just making a lot of noise between them. So you might pick up the coach behind us who's cheering them on. They lead 1-0, but these Huskies pink girls are going to be a very tough nut to crack. There's Ling Xin to Jing Xian. Jing Xian, what a move and what a score. 1-0. Just how they glide into the paint there and get it done is an absolute joy to watch. And one thing, and I think this was the message that we got from Han Bin and Jai Ren and Delvin over the last couple of days, Lavin, when you get this opportunity as a top elite Singaporean athlete yourself to see what the next generation's up to, it must give you heart and encouragement, because there's some serious talent in both the girls and boys section.
Yeah, definitely. You know, it definitely motivates me to do better, because when I'm watching that, I get a feeling that, you know, there's someone coming over, you know, to take my position in the future. Yeah, so definitely I would wanna show them like how it's like to be a professional and to play at the elite level. And, you know, definitely push them to do their best too. Yeah,
and this age group's key to their development, to see whether they take basketball to the next step. Later on in the men's competition, I say men's, it's still boys really. Yeah. Another good basket. They're pulling out early here, Hillcrest Greys A. Jackson, one of your new Singapore Slinger teammates. You'll see him in action later on for the SBPHK Hornets. They're currently 2-0. The Hornets with a very strong chance of making it through to the semi-finals. So on the board finally, the Huskies pink girls, they only trail by 1. I get the feeling this game could go all the way to overtime the way it's looking, and that's with still 7.5 minutes left on the clock. Nice show and go from 𝐓𝐇𝐄. Layup misses, and coming up with it, here's Jing Xian, gets it back to Ling Xin, goes for it all. Ling Xin off the rim and out of bounds. It'll be a Hillcrest possession with 2:13 to play in the first. Yeah, I wouldn't want to call the winner here. Having said that, Hillcrest Greys, with both teams' defences being so good, the 2-point lead is worth its weight in gold. If they could extend it to 3, all of a sudden the Huskies would be under real pressure. Open space for the jumper off the rim just as time expired on the shot clock. And an important pick-up on possession there for the Huskies pink girls. Driving in, Ling Xin. Jing Xian. Look how aggressive and hard fought it is out there. That will be Hillcrest ball. Shot clock violation, and we're going to be seeing more shot clock violations because they are playing tight basketball here. Tight coverage. Both girls sticking to each other like glue, and they draw the foul there in the paint. They'll go to the line for 1. This is impressive stuff. So intense, Lavin.
Yeah. I mean, the aggressiveness they are showing at the game, you know, it's really good.
So to the line, it's Dawn to send them out by a 3-point lead. Doesn't go, but picked up offensively brilliantly by 𝐓𝐇𝐄. It's some feat when you're up against 2 opponents to pick up those free throw rebounds. Look at that drive. Doesn't quite drop though. 1-10, still by 2. It's low scoring, but high intensity. this Group B decider between the 2-0 Huskies Pink and the 2-0 Hillcrest Greys, who will go on to face the Singapore Chinese Girls School SC BBQ team in next Saturday's semi-final. You can watch it live on the ActiveSG Facebook page, as well as our grand finals on Sunday as well. We've got a whole day of basketball action ahead of you with our Super Sunday, giving you all the big deciders across all the groups in the girls and boys. Still Group C and Group D to be decided in the girls section. We'll take a break for lunch after the conclusion of the girls round robin, and then be back at 2 p.m. to get the boys section sorted out. It's definitely advantage Hillcrest Greys. They need a point to the Huskies, and they'll get a chance to go to the line for one here. But they're getting into the realm already with 30 seconds left in the first period. They do not want to miss this and hand a bigger first period lead to Hillcrest Greys. So it's important this drops. Jingxian, it does not go, and it's picked up by Hillcrest. 27 seconds left. They should be timed for at least one full possession each, but don't forget, the game clock does not stop when the ball goes out of bounds. So just like that, there's 14 seconds on the shot clock and 15 seconds in the game. So I think you'll find some clock management here, unless they can score an obvious basket. She's got an electric smile, that Engi, and no wonder she's smiling now, because as time expires in a low-scoring first period, it's advantage Hillcrest Greys A. Tight basketball, Lavin. What do the Huskies Pink girls need to do to turn this round in the second period?
You know, you definitely should start taking more shots and, you know, converting them. I think that has been one of the problems in the first half, and locking down on defense.
Yeah, the defense has been king in that first period. I mean, most of the girls, nearly every attempt they had at a basket was under huge pressure, which makes the fact that Dawn and Engi landed those 3 points, usually running away from the basket, which of course makes it all the tougher. So the girls chomping at the bit to get back out there, particularly the Huskies Pink pair, as our referee JL is just waiting for the full 60 seconds to run down. Wherever you're watching around the world, a very warm welcome. It's 5 minutes past 11 in the morning Singapore time. We are just over an hour in to an action-packed morning and afternoon of deciding basketball, with the final group matches being played out in the girls and boys section today in the Playoffs 2020. A wonderful initiative from ActiveSG, supported proudly by Foot Locker, and we're coming to you live from the Foot Locker half court at the B2 level of their flagship Asian store. A 5-story, award-winning retail and sporting experience. Hillcrest in possession and with the lead. What magic can Dawn provide here? Dawn round the outside, Dawn to land the 3-point lead. And now it's a 2-possession lead possessed by Hillcrest Greys. The Huskies need to respond, and the Huskies do respond. An important bucket that by Jingxian, because they'd gone, what, about 3 minutes without scoring, Lavin. Loose ball picked up by Lingxi. Is this the Huskies' comeback train? Not this time. Taken out of the possession of Jingxian, but they will get the ball back. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Lingxin. Jingxian, look at the defense here from the Hillcrest girls, making it so tough. And that defense forced the miss. Engi now. Engi outside. Can't get the shot away. Oh, what a hook shot. I mean, for girls at this age and experience to be putting off hook shots like that, Lavin, it's so impressive.
Yeah, even for me, it took me a while, you know, to practice the hook shot and put it in my game. That's why at such a young age, you know, they having all these tricks in their bags. You know, it's a good thing.
That was a big bucket by Jingxian just as time expired on the shot clock. All 4 girls are exhausted out there already, and I've got bad news for them. There's still 3:20 to go, but it's good news for us because we're all enjoying this Group B decider. Both teams unbeaten through the week here at the ActiveSG 2-on-2 playoff basketball tournament. And the winners will get a semi-final berth. At the moment, possession 9/10 of the law. Hillcrest Greys. That won't be the last shot clock violation we see, I'm sure. So, the Huskies, a 2, remember, would tie it. And the game's had everything but a 2-pointer to this point. Ah, lovely moves and lovely scoring. Jingxian again. And just like that, they're back to within 1. Remember, Hillcrest did lead by 3. Here's 𝐓𝐇𝐄. 𝐓𝐇𝐄's going to look, and 𝐓𝐇𝐄 just in and out again as the shot clock expired. 𝐓𝐇𝐄, that one goes in and out. Neither team able to land a point in the last 45 seconds. It's a 1-point ball game. We're into the final quarter of this one. Going for two! That would have been huge from Dawn, but it bounces in and out. Shot clock down to 5 here. They're going to have to go for one from range, I fancy. Shot clock's going to expire. They didn't get the shot off. And we're into the final 2 minutes. So Hillcrest Greys won't be in a hurry. The Huskies Pink Girls will be. Here's Dawn. Dawn. Great coverage. Going for two. Huge. Big score! That 2-pointers takes them 3 points clear. Hillcrest Greys with the first 2-pointer of the game, and that could just be the deciding score, Lavin. That is a clutch shot in the context of the game. Dawn. Hillcrest Greys have got 1 foot now in the semi-finals. The Singapore Chinese Girls School SCBBQ team away, and they take that shot clock, I think, quite willingly, just to run another 14 seconds down. Are we going to start seeing, for the first time this week, the girls getting into shot clock management? Oh, hello! It's interesting now all of a sudden. Where did that come from, 𝐓𝐿? They draw back to within 1. Maybe it's not all over yet. Back-to-back twos in this game, 1 from either side, and it's blown this game wide open once more. Hillcrest need another bucket. They will draw the foul, and they will go to the line. Big smiles from 𝐓𝐇𝐄 as she will go to open up a 2-point lead once again, but miss this, and within seconds they could be staring down the barrel of an exit. Down it goes, nothing but net for 𝐓𝐿. A 2-point lead, and now of course the Huskies are going to have to find another 2-pointer. They've already got one. There's the steal, well won by 𝐓𝐿. Of course the game clock won't stop now, so there'll be no rush, I'm sure, from Hillcrest Greys to get this moving again. 27 seconds left. Dawn. Oh, lovely footwork from Dawn. Oh, good tip from 𝐓𝐿, but the trouble with that is it takes the ball out of bounds. They'll have to reset, and that's just going to take away valuable seconds that the Huskies Pink Girls need to try and level this up. Here's Dawn. A bucket here would seal it. The time's going to expire, and the Hillcrest Greys have got through to the semi-finals by a score of 8-6, and they've dumped out Delvin Goes Fancies, the Huskies Pink. So in your face, Delvin, he got that one wrong. How impressed with you with that, though? Fantastic hustle from Hillcrest Greys from the first buzzer to the last.
Yeah, and clutch shots during the second half, you know, the 2-pointer shots. It was an exciting game.
So commiserations, and they go with our best wishes, Huskies Pink. They've been absolute superstars through the tournament, but they just come up against an inspired Hillcrest Greys side here. So our first semi-finalist set next Saturday, our first semi-final in the girls section will be the Singapore Chinese Girls School, #SCBBQ, against Hillcrest Greys, who've triumphed in the battle of the unbeaten teams in Group B. They've beaten Huskies Pink by 8 points to 6, and it's Hillcrest Greys A that go through to the semi-final. Next up, we turn our attention to Group C with one of the tournament favourites, the 2-0 𝐓𝐇𝐄 𝐏𝐋𝐀𝐘𝐎R. They're going to book their semi-final slot in style against SG Basketball White. That one is next. Lavin Raj and myself back for more from the half court at the Foot Locker. Is the playoff 2-on-2 basketball brought to you by ActiveSG.
Life. Is it about looking perfect? Eating perfect? Or is it simply about trying? A little at a time. Living life to the fullest. So that at the end of the day, we can tell ourselves, I'm doing a little better today than I did yesterday. Because hey, better beats perfect.
Elliott in the corner as they spread it. Alexander, fingertip through the basket.
Xavier Alexander time again, going downhill, challenging Steam Thomas at the rim. And
Elliott slides through, back to Alexander. Downstairs it goes, wide open look on that left-hand side. Elliott! Boyd knocked away again. Singapore has it. Fleck in the open court. Takes it to the hole, and that might just do it.
the long arms of 𝐓𝐇𝐄 to jump, anticipate, and jump in that passing lane. Leads to a fast break.
With Active Health, there are so many ways to kickstart your journey. So really, why not make the choice to enjoy active living? You can just pop by our Active Health Labs for fitness and health assessments. To learn and adopt habits to achieve your goals. And you can always get quick self-assessments using ActiveFit and more. You're also welcome to connect with us at our events. Our family of sport champions and experts will be here to guide you. Come team up with us at ActiveSG and Active Health programs. There are plenty of interest groups for all ages, as well as spaces to explore and get together. Move better. Eat better. Rest better. Assess your fitness and health. Connect with our Active Health family of experts and advocates. Team up with your family and friends to be better together. Act now to get started at betterbeatsperfect.sg.
Welcome back live to the Foot Locker half court here, Orchard Gateway, the home for 6 days of compelling action of the playoffs 2020, brought to you by ActiveSG. Our official sponsors at Foot Locker have been so wonderful, and of course are going to give our champions in the boys and girls section a once-in-a-lifetime experience. If they take the main prize in the final next Sunday, the winning boys and girls team will get a 1-year product endorsement deal with Foot Locker and a whole host of Nike goodies as well. Nike are also providing thousands of dollars in runners-up prizes for all our boy and girl athletes. Many thanks to them. Thanks to the Basketball Association of Singapore and of course the Singapore Slingers. Lavin Raj is alongside me. They are our supporting partners in this project, One Play Sports broadcast partners. And I'm just checking, I haven't left anyone out. All in all, pats on the back all round for everyone to get competitive sport coming back to Singapore like this in a COVID-19 safe environment. It's been absolutely superb. Hard work from all involved. Now let's turn our attention back to this action that we're about to see, Lavin, because we've already seen our first semi-final in the girls section set. Singapore Chinese girls school, 𝐓𝐶 will take on 𝐓𝐇𝐄 𝐏𝐋𝐀𝐘𝐬, who just won an absolute classic against the Huskies Pink. Next up, for me, the favourites to win the girls section, Shengon Culture with Leka number 35 and Kareen number 97 against SG Basketball White, Ntong, who's got the long hair, and Asher's got the short hair, just to differentiate those two. But the equation here, Lavin, 2-0 Shengon Culture, quite simply they win, they go through. SG Basketball White need to win by 7 points. So that's a huge task facing them, and made even harder now that they've sent Shengon Culture to the line inside the first 5 seconds. But different pressure when you need to come into a game and win by such a wide margin.
I mean, when you have to come into a game and win by such a margin, you definitely want to score more baskets. So, you know, I'm definitely looking forward to them taking more shots, more twos.
Kareen nailing that first free throw makes it even harder. But Asher's got some game, as has Ntong. And they're not going to rush going for twos just yet. And just like that, Ntong levels it up. Oh, look at the footwork, look at the moves, and look at the finishing. Kareen, 2 points inside the first 30 seconds. And while all the focus throughout the tournament's been on the hustle of Leka, she has been outshone through the first minute here by Kareen. Asher, Ntong, they need to get on the board here, big time. Remember, they need to win by 7 to go through here. SG Basketball White, Shengon Culture unbeaten to this point. Leka, who's that come off last? It came off Leka. So turnover ball and a chance for Ntong. No. Foul called. And that will be turnover possession. Kareen, who's made a stunning start. All she needs to do now is get a 2 and should have completed the set. Leka on the move, no good. Ntong picks it up. Ntong back outside the arc. Nice footwork round the outside with a hook shot attempt, no good. Asher with an offensive rebound, and she puts that away to put SG Basketball White on the board. And what a steal! Lovely steal from Asher. Quick pass, they could be level just like that. Oh. Tied at 2 each. Leka. No good. And Asher with a chance to get the ball back to Ntong. I wonder whether they've got to start being bold with these twos now. They've got to win by 7 points, remember. Asher gathers it in. Jump shot off the rim, no good. Picked up by Kareen. Tight this, isn't it? Looked early on that Shengon Culture might run away with it, but they've battled back well. And Shengon Culture, Lavin, without a basket in over a minute.
Yeah. No, they should definitely use their size, you know, and in the post and finish it off.
Ntong. Asher around the outside. Ntong uses her as a decoy and lands the basket. And just like that, they've come from 2-zip to lead by 1. Remember, they need to win by 7. A win by 7 or greater, and SG Basketball White will dump out Shengon Culture. Asher in a bit of space. Asher with the feint, the fade, runs into the basket, and they nearly lead by 2, but not quite, and that's a very important rebound that finally leads to a referee's whistle, and they will get the ball back again, so that's turnover ball. Lovely work from SG Basketball White. They need to start piling up the points though. They'll go to the line to get another one now. And Shengon Culture from nowhere, Lavin, they look so comfortable through the first minute. They're almost panicking a little bit here. If this goes down, they're only going to be 5 points away from their target, the girls of SG Basketball White. And down it does go. Leka. Kareen, and they've given it up again. I think it took a touch though off of SG Basketball White, so it will be Shengon Culture ball.
Oh, good steal.
Good steal, Asher. Into Ntong. Back to Asher. Shot clock's reset. 10 seconds on the shot clock. There's plenty of time for them to get this 7-point break that they need. Shengon Culture are rattled because Ntong and Asher are on flying form. Asher under the rim. can't make it happen. And the shot clock goes back to 14. Ntong to Asher, thinks about the jumper, goes for the jumper, misses the jumper. And Kareem picks up the rebound off the touch from Ntong. And that will steady the ship. 𝐓𝐇𝐄 brings them to within 1, and now the task of winning by 7 made that little bit harder. High quality basketball this, Lavin. You must be impressed with what you're seeing.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with their defense, especially, you know, steals and, you know, the aggressiveness.
So inside the final minute of the first period, and the free-flowing scoring that was a feature of the first 30 seconds of the game is a thing of the past. It's a very tight contest, this. Ntong to Asher. Asher, Ntong for 2! Off the rim, no good. Just as time expired as well, it would have counted. Kareem. 𝐓𝐇𝐄. Can they tie this one up before the end of the first period? Not like that. Kareem looking for 𝐓𝐇𝐄. Lovely pass. 𝐓𝐇𝐄 though can't control, and they'll throw possession up here, but it won't matter because time's expired. So half time, they're winning, but they're not winning by enough right now. SG Basketball White leading Shandong Culture by 4-3. Remember, anything other than a win for SG Basketball White by 7 points or more, and Shandong Culture will qualify. So it's very tense, Lavin. And I wonder what's going through the girls' minds out there now, because Shandong Culture, they look rattled. They managed to get it back to within 1, but there was a phase in that first period where they did start to look rattled.
They probably didn't really expect, you know, SG B-ball to come out so high right out the gate.
Yeah, so Ntong and Asher making a great little and large team. It's a good matchup this really between two little and large teams, isn't it, with the contrast with 𝐓𝐇𝐄 and Kareem and Ntong and Asher. But this is going to be an absorbing 5 minutes. Will Shandong Culture book their slot in next Saturday's semi-final that you can also watch live from 2 p.m. next Saturday as our semi-finals, our grand finals from 2 p.m. next Sunday at this wonderful 2-on-2 playoff basketball competition arranged by ActiveSG, proudly sponsored by our good friends at Foot Locker, and we come to you from this wonderful Foot Locker half court in the basement of the flagship Foot Locker store, their largest in Asia. Now, can they score first? That was a good bit of improvisation, almost an underarm shot there attempted by Ntong. Get the impression, Shandong Culture, if they score first in this second period, that might just be enough to dispirit SG Basketball White. Look at these moves from Ntong. Oh, she's done it again. How many times has she gone round the outside and cut in? She's clearly the paciest girl on the court.
She's really quick.
The response is almost immediate from Kareem. It's tight, this. It's tight. They're going to have to start gambling, I think, in a minute and going for 2s, SG Basketball White, and that's just what they do. And that's just what they do. They now lead by 3. They have to win by 7. 4:08 left. Huge two-pointer from Ntong. Call for the foul. The block deemed unfair, and it will send Kareem to the line, and every point now from Shandong Culture's point of view is pressure and pleasure, because every point they can rack up now makes the task of SG Basketball White that little bit tougher. And well might they rush to get on the ball here. It will be with the danger girl, Ntong. They've got to try and stop the 2s now, Shandong Culture. I think the ones they can live with, it's the 2s that are going to be the danger. And Ntong is on fire. Great steal, Asher. This is incredible. They lead by 4. They need to win by 7. And there's plenty of time left on the clock, 3:30. Asher gives it to Ntong. She's been lethal from distance and lethal from close range in this matchup so far. They are on a 3-0 run at the start of this second period. And Lavin, this is on now. They only need 3 more points, and the D is holding up well.
Sorry?
I mean, to say this is on now, they need to win by 7. They already lead by 4, and their defense is holding up well, the defense of SG Basketball White.
Yeah, definitely. They are really doing well on defense, and they only need 3 more points. You know, just a 2-pointer and another basket is all they need.
Yeah, well, that
you can see right now.
Really good offensive rebound was the first bit of weak play I've seen from the girls of SG Basketball White, because they hesitated and let 𝐓𝐇𝐄 dominate the paint for that rebound, but they're up by 4 again, and the clock all of a sudden is moving very slowly from a 𝐓𝐇𝐄 𝐏𝐿𝐶 point of view. 2 minute 40 is plenty enough time. As it stands, their target is 12. That's assuming 𝐓𝐇𝐄 𝐏𝐿𝐶 don't score again, which I suppose is unlikely. Here's 𝐓𝐿𝐶. Great physicality, that matchup between 𝐓𝐿𝐶 and Asher. Asher comes out on top in that one. They get the shot away as time expired, but it's already gone. That won't count. The shot clock had expired, so possession over. It's still a 4-point lead. They need to win by 7. 𝐓𝐿𝐶 round the outside again. She's so pacey, and she draws the +1. They lead by 5 with 1 more to come, and all of a sudden SG Basketball White could be on the brink of a huge upset. 𝐓𝐿𝐶 from the line. She's missed that one. She picks up the rebound. Will she go deep to go for 2? Asher, another miss. And this time the rebound is gathered in by 𝐓𝐶. A 5-point ball game. They're going to get the win, but they need to win by 7. I thought Asher would go for 2 there. 𝐓𝐿𝐶 will. No good. 1:54. They desperately need a point here, 𝐓𝐿𝐶 𝐏𝐿𝐶. They need to make it a 2-possession difference that needs to be made up, and they will go to the line. Where the free throw shooting started hot by both teams, but they've both missed their last couple, and there's pressure on this one from 𝐿𝐶. And she's missed it. 𝐓𝐶 with the rebound. Surely there's a foul there, not called. 𝐿𝐶 out for 2, this could do it. Misses by a long way. 𝐓𝐶 with a rebound. Finally they get that rebound game going, and that's a huge point by 𝐓𝐶, because that passage of play ate 20 seconds off the clock as well. It's SG Basketball White by 4. They have to win by 7. And it will be 𝐓𝐿𝐶 𝐏𝐿𝐶 possession here. All of a sudden the clock is now a problem, not for 𝐓𝐿𝐶 𝐏𝐿𝐶, but for SG Basketball White. 𝐓𝐿𝐶, we need one of her magical plays now. Can she deliver? No, not this time, but what a play on the rebound to get the ball out to Asher. She's got to pull the trigger on 2. 2 points are what they need. Asher, 𝐓𝐿𝐶 sets, it's got to go. Oh, it misses, and Asher somehow doesn't manage to gather in that rebound. 𝐿𝐶, now they've given possession up. They need to get this back quickly. Remember, the game clock doesn't stop unless it's a free throw. They need to find a 2 from somewhere. 𝐓𝐿𝐶, she settles for 1. Now they need by 5. 35 seconds to go. They need the turnover and a 2. 𝐓𝐶, Asher forces the turnover. And 𝐓𝐿𝐶 with the rebound. Is this the moment? She steps back and tries to go for 2. 24 seconds on the game clock. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Asher thinks about it. 𝐓𝐿𝐶's in space, but she goes on her own for 1, and she draws the shot clock violation, which at this stage of the game is criminal. The game clock continues to run. 𝐓𝐿𝐶 𝐏𝐿𝐶 can afford to run this clock down now. SG Basketball White need a stop. And under the circumstances, that probably wasn't the silliest play to deliberately foul. They should have probably done it earlier. 4 seconds on the clock. They're going to lose the game, but if 𝐓𝐿𝐶 𝐏𝐿𝐶 drop this free throw, they'll win the place in the semi-finals. There's time to go for 2. They got to go for 2, and they don't go for 2. What a dramatic finish. They win the battle, but not the war. 𝐓𝐿𝐶 𝐏𝐿𝐶 lose by 11-6, but their points differential is enough to see them through to the semi-finals, and we'll find out who they'll face next. Lavin Raj, what about that for drama? And again, maybe just the inexperience of game management costing SG Basketball White in the end.
Yeah, probably she was too focused in the game. You know, she didn't realize, look at the scoreboard and realize what the score was, and wasn't aware of what she needs to win the game to, you know, get the 7-point lead.
Yeah, they needed to win by 7, and now of course they have to rely on Kembangan Red doing them a huge favour against #SC Basketball, and we'll be back with that one live from the Foot Locker half court next, as Group C is getting very, very interesting indeed.
Life. Is it about looking perfect? Eating perfect? Or is it simply about trying? A little at a time. Living life to the fullest. So that at the end of the day, we can tell ourselves, I'm doing a little better today than I did yesterday. Because hey, better beats perfect.
Elliott in the corner as they spread it. Alexander, fingertip through the basket.
Xavier Alexander time again, going downhill, challenging Steve Thomas at the rim. And
Elliott slides through, back to Alexander. Downstairs it goes, wide open look on that left-hand side. Elliott! Boyd knocked away again. Singapore has it. Fleck in the open court. Takes it to the hole, and that might just do it.
the long arms of 𝐓𝐇𝐄 to jump, anticipate, and jump in that passing lane. Leads to a fast break.
With Active Health, there are so many ways to kickstart your journey. So really, why not make the choice to enjoy active living? You can just pop by our Active Health Labs for fitness and health assessments. To learn and adopt habits to achieve your goals. And you can always get quick self-assessments using ActiveFit and more. You're also welcome to connect with us at our events. Our family of sport champions and experts will be here to guide you. Come team up with us at ActiveSG and Active Health programs. There are plenty of interest groups for all ages, as well as spaces to explore and get together. Move better. Eat better. Rest better. Assess your fitness and health. Connect with our Active Health family of experts and advocates. Team up with your family and friends to be better together. Act now to get started at betterbeatsperfect.sg.
Well, it doesn't get any more dramatic than the situation we're faced with now. We have just seen an incredible performance by SG Basketball White. They beat Shandong Culture, the tournament favourites, by 11 points to 6. But the margin of victory wasn't enough to be bettering Shandong Culture in a three-way points differential head-to-head. But there is still a way that SG Basketball White can go through, and that's if Kembangan Red, who haven't won a game to this point and will start this one as massive underdogs, get the better of the other Singapore Chinese girls school team, #SCB Ball. And of course, it gets even more complicated because SCB Ball themselves can't actually qualify. So there are two scenarios: a win for SC Basketball, 𝐏𝐿 𝐏𝐿𝐄 go through, a win for 𝐵𝐵𝐵𝐵 Red, and then all of a sudden SG Basketball White, who we thought were all but out, could still squeak through by virtue of a better head-to-head record, of course, against 𝐏𝐿 𝐏𝐿𝐄. So it's going to be nervy, it's going to be tight. We saw how nervy it was in the last matchup, and I'm fascinated to see how this all plays out. Our referee for this matchup is going to be Charlton, and the toss, I believe, has been won by Singapore Chinese Girls School Basketball. We've already seen the other Singapore Chinese Girls School #SCBBQ with OZ and Rusian qualify for the semi-finals, where they take on the Hillcrest Greys team, who beat the Huskies Pink in that Group B decider. And now the other half of the semi-final draw is about to start to take shape. So a strange situation this, Lavin, because of course the Singapore Chinese Girls School know they can't really qualify, but I'm sure they'll still be giving it their best. But if 𝐵𝐵𝐵𝐵 Red have the game of their lives, all of a sudden SG Basketball White goes through. It's just the vagaries of how this round robin format works. When obviously only one goes through from each group, it can get quite tight at the top.
If I were SG Basketball, I'll be praying right now that 𝐵𝐵𝐵𝐵 wins this game.
Well, they mean business, and they're a very strong unit, the Singapore Chinese Girls Basketball team, so it's going to be a big ask to get 𝐵𝐵𝐵𝐵 to come up with a W here, but they will give it their best go. A reminder, after this, still two more games to come from the girls section this morning. It'll be YTBG, the 2-0 league leaders in Group D, up against SG Basketball Black, who are 0-2, and then the other two teams whose game will be redundant really if YTBG win, but Changsha Youth side and 𝐵𝐵𝐵𝐵 Blue will be the last girls game before we take a break for lunch and are back with 2 p.m. Reagan Lee will be guiding you through the men's half of the draw from 2 p.m. So referee Charlton about to get us underway. It's Siglap, no more. It's the Singapore Chinese Girls School in the white, who go for a big bucket early, and 𝐵𝐵𝐵𝐵 in the blue. Mina number 5 and Sarah number 13 for Singapore Chinese Girls School. 𝐵𝐵𝐵𝐵 Red, Jessie 88 and Nicole number 39. And straight off the bat, 𝐵𝐵𝐵𝐵 Red take the lead here. And I'm just looking around to see if the SG Basketball White girls are watching this. I'm sure they're watching it from somewhere. Big 2-point attempt, only one. Had a foot on the line, but it was a big bucket. Went down nicely from Sarah, and we're tied at 1 each. Nice footwork from 𝐴𝐵𝐵. 𝐴𝐵𝐵 steps back. Rebound is gathered up well by Nicole. Round the outside goes Jessie, and the layup is good. 2-1. 𝐵𝐵𝐵𝐵 lead, and as it stands, SG Basketball White. As it stands, we're still, 8.5 minutes to play. SG Basketball White will in the end go through. The reason why we were screaming they want to win by more than 7 is they needed to win by more than 7 to actually better 𝐏𝐿 𝐏𝐿𝐄 in a three-way tie, which is what will happen, a three-way tie if SG Basketball and the Singapore Chinese Girls School win. Look at the physicality on the deck there. No respite for both 𝐴𝐵𝐵𝐵 and Nicole. Looks like we're in for another tight one here, Lavin, in the early stages. It does look tight, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a close game.
Possession will pass to 𝐴𝐵𝐵𝐵. Finds Sarah with the ball. Back to 𝐴𝐵𝐵𝐵. Goes deep and goes for one. Thought for a minute. The arc, by the way, just obscured by our monitors. I wasn't entirely sure whether she was in front or behind, but it's only 1 point, but that's the second time both the Singapore Chinese Girls scorers' points have come from deep, but only one. This will be a 2, but it doesn't drop. And they are under instruction from their coach, clearly, to shoot from deep. 2-point attempt for 𝐵𝐵𝐵𝐵, and it's good! First deuce landed, and it's an absolute cracker as well. Foul called on 𝐵𝐵𝐵𝐵. Well, it's evident now. We've seen them in action over the last 3 days. This is a high-quality Group C, because all 4 of the teams you've seen in action, you wouldn't have been surprised to see them in the semi-finals. There's no weak links in Group C.
Yeah, all of them have the standard of being in the semi-finals or even the finals. It's just unlucky that they're in the same group.
2 back-to-back 2s, and Jessie is on fire. And as things stand, SG Basketball White will qualify. The Chinese girls need a response, and they give one. Now they trail by 3, but Jessie's on fire from distance. Not again, surely. Not this time. How about that for long-range shooting from Kembangan?
Oh, that was really unexpected.
Ooh. Chinese girls school back amongst the points now with Sarah, and all of a sudden one of those 2 points has been negated. Jessie, what a hustle! The other 2 look round to find out where the ball was, and while they were struggling to place the ball, Jessie scoops it in and got the score. Sarah now, oh, Jessie with the steal again, but she's been called for the foul. Well, this Jessie is putting herself in contention for performance of the day on us, Lavin. What a start she's had to this one.
Yeah, she's giving it a all. Doing it on both offense and defense. 2s and 1s.
Foul called on Sarah as she sends Nicole to the floor. Jessie and Nicole. Second foul called on Singapore Chinese Girls School. Just shoelaces. I don't think there's any skullduggery there, trying to run the clock down by tying the shoelaces up from Sarah. Jessie again. Nicole. Just didn't release that as she would have liked, and that will probably take us to the end of the first period. So as it stands, Kembangan Red look like they're about to do SG Basketball White a huge favour. The Singapore Chinese Girls School players need to come back. Oohs and ahs after that passenger play from Jessie. My oh my. Lavin Raj with a big smile on your face. What about that first period display by number 88 for Kembangan, Jessie?
No, I'm really impressed. Both she's really good. She's really doing it both well on offense and defense, crossing over people, shooting the 2s, driving in for a strong layup and stuff.
Yeah, it's a complete game, isn't it? She's had the distance shooting, the layups, the hook shots, and her footwork has sometimes left Maeva and Sarah of the Singapore Chinese Girls School at a loss. So we get away from referee Charlton. He's got a big smiley face, and these girls just want to get back on with this. The referee's waiting for the 60-second break clock they're allowed to run down to 0. And then we'll be back in action. And I can see behind us, Asha and Entong are watching this and cheering on Kembangan. And that's another point, and those screams you can hear behind me are coming from Asha and Entong, because they know if Kembangan win, against all odds they'll go through, and it's just not happening for the Singapore Chinese Girls School here. They trail by 4, 4:40 left. Big point from Jessie, but it's drifting left. Amazing to think that we were watching that game with the SG Basketball White side thinking, after such an impressive display by beating one of the favourites, Shengon Culture, by 5 points, that it wouldn't be enough. As a big bucket goes down for the Chinese Girls School. They're not done yet. Jessie! She doesn't miss from there. And they lead again by 4. 2-pointer attempt is missed by Sarah. Goodness gracious me, you can catch a glimpse of the atmosphere around this place. If you could be here in person, it's absolutely electric. I hope you're getting some of it back home watching on the live ActiveSG stream with our broadcast partners, One Play Sports. This is the playoffs 2020 as that one drops from Maeva, and now the gap is reduced to just 3 points. Watching nervously both Shengon Culture and SG Basketball White. Shengon Culture desperate for the Singapore Chinese girls' school to win. They can't qualify, so there's no motivation for them. And Jessie does it again. 3 deuces from Jessie, and the lead's back out to 5. This incredible set of circumstances in Group C, that as it stands is going to see SG Basketball White qualify despite not getting the 7-point margin of victory they needed to out Shengon Culture by right. They'll be edging them out of a 2-way tie in the head-to-head. In a 3-way tie, they would have gone out to Shengon Culture by virtue of points difference. But in a 2-way tie, they don't need the points difference, they just need the head-to-head. And that display by SG Basketball White yesterday against Kembangan, beating them by 12-6, looks all the more impressive now. What a display by Jessie, and it almost seems a shame, Lavin, that we won't actually be seeing Jessie in the semi-finals, whatever happens now.
Yeah, I would definitely be, if she was in final, I would definitely be looking forward to watching the game.
Jessie inside to Nicole. Nicole, it drops! Their biggest lead of the game, they lead by 6, and surely that seals it. The Singapore Chinese girls' school here can't buy a bucket at the moment. And there will be an almighty scream behind the commentary position when the buzzer goes here, because SG Basketball White are going to go through. And it must have been so painful for the SG Basketball White girls to come off court, Lavin. No, they hadn't done enough to oust Shengon Culture in what they expected would be a 3-way tie. And now, of course, they're watching, helpless, just relying on Kembangan, who, remember, hadn't won a game to this point, Kembangan Red. Yeah. When you watch the way they played today, how on earth did Kembangan Red come into this 0-2?
Yeah, I didn't expect them to be playing this way and be 0-2, you know.
Jessie and Nicole, with Jessie in particular, have put on, I think arguably, this is the finest individual performance I've seen from any girl across the 3 days from Jessie here. And she's been ably supported by Nicole as well. It's a 7-point lead, and they are going to send SG Basketball White through to next Saturday's semi-finals. The Singapore Chinese girls' school players of SCB Ball, I can't help but think their game's been affected somewhat by the fact that there was no motivation for them here. Their heads dropped a little bit, I think, when they saw coming into today that their pathway to the final was impossible, as that 2-point attempt by Maeva hits the roof, and we're into the final 60 seconds now. Jessie again, just a bit off with that trajectory, hits the roof, and possessional pass to the SCB Ball girls, who've been reduced to just 6 points in this one. They managed to score only 3 against Shengon Culture, so in hindsight that performance yesterday really signposted what's eventually transpired here, when they've almost seemingly been outclassed by a team that hadn't up to this point won a match. And Jessie, number 88 for Kembangan Red, is going to sign out of this tournament after this display, but what a way to sign out, as Nicole gets out of the act as well. 14-6, it's going to be the biggest margin of victory of the day, and Jessie's going to sign off with almost another 3. It doesn't matter. Kembangan Red win, Shengon Culture go out, and SG Basketball White are through to the semi-finals. But Lavin Raj, a quick word from you from that display by both Jessie and Nicole, but Jessie in particular.
Oh my God, she was really impressive, you know, with the twos, with the long range shooting, you know. Singapore is the future, you know.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we'll keep an eye on the future of young Jessie. Remember that name and number, Jessie, 88 of Kembangan Red. They've beaten the Singapore Chinese girls' school b-ball team. They go out and somehow squeaking through by virtue of a better head-to-head record against Shengon Culture, despite both finishing 2-1. SG Basketball White are through. So we now know 3 of the semi-finalists. There's just 1 more slot to fill, and we'll turn our attention to Group D when we come back, live from the Foot Locker half court here at the Foot Locker store at Orchard Gateway. It's the Playoffs 2020, brought to you by ActiveSG. One Play Sports, our prize sponsors Nike, our official sponsors of Foot Locker, and our supporting partners at Basketball Association of Singapore, and of course the Singapore Slingers, represented here this morning brilliantly by Lavin Raj. Stay with us.
Life. Is it about looking perfect?
Arms of 𝐓𝐇𝐄 to jump, anticipate, and jump in that passing lane. Leads to a fast break.
With Active Health, there are so many ways to kickstart your journey. So really, why not make the choice to enjoy active living? You can just pop by our Active Health Labs for fitness and health assessments. To learn and adopt habits to achieve your goals. And you can always get quick self-assessments using ActiveFit and more. You're also welcome to connect with us at our events. Our family of sport champions and experts will be here to guide you. Come team up with us at ActiveSG and Active Health programs. There are plenty of interest groups for all ages, as well as spaces to explore and get together. Move better. Eat better. Rest better. Assess your fitness and health. Connect with our Active Health family of experts and advocates. Team up with your family and friends to be better together. Act now to get started at betterbeatsperfect.sg.
Well, if you want Sunday morning drama, we'll give you Sunday morning drama. What an incredible end to Group C after we had the remarkable win for SG Basketball White, Entong and Asher getting the better of Shengon Culture by 11 points to 6 when they needed to win by 7, assuming we get a three-way tie. They fell short by 2 points and it looked like Shengon Culture would qualify, but we didn't count on the performance of Jesse and Nicole for Kembangan Red, who somehow pulled out the game of the week to turn over and beat the Singapore Chinese Girls School SC basketball team in a very comprehensive 14-6 win. Jesse, arguably the individual performance of the week across both genders, and that win for Kembangan Red, no good to them because they got into the day 0-2, but it did dump out Shengon Culture and send SG Basketball White through to the semi-finals, where they will meet the winners of Group D, which we turn our attention to now. And there's a very strong team here in YTBG. Yishun Town, Hannah Tay wearing 18, Tanya Tan wearing 23, and they're against the talented but winless girls of SG Basketball Black. That's Losado, Santiago and Diana. Purple shoes for Losado, Santiago, and the black shoes for Diana. So even though there's a game to come after this in Group D between Shanxi Youth and Kembangan Blue, a win for YTBG is enough to confirm their semi-final spot with still the one game to go. But bearing in mind Kembangan Red caused the shock in the last one, you wouldn't want to be relying on a result in a game involving Kembangan, and that's the match next. So YTBG, red hot favourites, even with the defeat here potentially, they will probably go through anyway because of the point differential, even if it turns in to a battle. I'm just looking at it, in fact, they're already qualified pretty much, because even if they drop to 2-1 here, they've got the head-to-head beating of both the other two teams in this group, so they're all but through, but I'm sure they'll want to sign off their Group D campaign with a win. And as you can see from the start they've made, Lavin, I know Reagan's a big fan of this Yishun Town team. They do look the part, don't they? That said, there's a couple of talented players playing for SG Basketball Black. So you've not seen nearly all the girls' groups and actions now, Lavin. What's your main takeaway from what you've seen so far?
I mean, my main takeaway is that, you know, the future is bright. There are a lot of young talents out there, you know, from the girls competition. You know, I'm looking forward to see what the future holds for them.
Well, it certainly are exciting times for Singapore basketball. There's a big two-point attempt by Hannah Tay, but it hits the roof. That goes as out of bounds, and ball passed back to Losado Santiago. Santiago on the turn, finds Diana. Diana, being well guarded by Tanya Tan, and the shot when it's forced is no good. So just the 1 point so far. That was well saved from going OB from Tanya Tan. Oh my word, where was that? That was out from the car park. Tanya Tan with the big two. Where did that come from? And it looks like at the moment YTBG are going to qualify in some style. And in terms of teams that have qualified with 3-0 records, obviously the Singapore Chinese Girls School BBQ team qualified 3-0. We saw the Hillcrest Greys qualify 3-0, and now it looks like YTBG will qualify 3-0. But you know, in a strange way, the way that they got through SG Basketball White and Tonganasha, and the way they play the game, I wonder, even though they're the only team that will probably make the semi-final lineups that have been beaten before, you wouldn't want to pick the winner. I mean, obviously Delvin shows how much Delvin Go knows. He was going on about the Huskies pink, they're out. Which team's impressed you most to this point?
Oh, the team that impressed me the most, probably SG Basketball is has impressed me the most. You know, definitely Entong with her shooting and cutting into the basket, but I'm definitely disappointed because Kembangan would have been a good team to see in the semi-finals though.
Yeah, it's such
Jessie is a really good player.
Yeah, we won't see her unfortunately, but I'm sure we'll see her in competitions to come. Still no points on the board for the SG Basketball Black team, and they've obviously just seen the SG Basketball Whites go through. But for the Blacks, it's hard going against a very strong YTBG team. Reagan Lee, who's been on commentary duty with me, I know he's a huge fan of this Yishun Town BG, which I'm assuming stands for Basketball Girls. I'm not entirely sure. I know what the YT stands for. And they are going to be a force to be reckoned with. So in the first semi-final next Saturday from 2 p.m, Hillcrest Greys Blue B are out. It'll be Singapore Chinese Girls School SC BBQ taking on Hillcrest Greys A, the Hillcrest Greys B team going out. So Hillcrest Greys A against the Singapore Chinese Girls School BBQ team, and then the second semi-final will be SG Basketball White with Entong and Asher taking on, if they win this match here, Tanya Tan and Hannah Tay of Yishun Town BG. And at the moment, it's looking like a stroll in the park this for Yishun Town. They'll lead by 5 after the free throw is dropped by Tanya Tan. Losado, Santiago and Diana need to try and make something happen. Diana steps for a 2, which they need, and it just grazes the net on the wrong side on the way through. 2 points is good. Huge bucket there, and they're out by 7. It's the biggest first period lead we've seen so far today. 𝐓𝐇𝐄 and Tanya Tan are on fire. Finally, a point on the board for SG Basketball Black, but they'll have to come from 6 points down in the second quarter. And at the moment, it looks like Yishun Town are going to cruise in to the semi-finals. That's off the rim, and a good pick-up from Diana. She's looking for Losado Santiago. She can't find her, so she has to go on her own. And that's not a shooting foul, so that will lead to time expiring. And at the end of the first period, a very impressive Yishun Town. I'm just going through my records. I think 7 points in a period is the highest total we've got so far today. So 𝐓𝐇𝐄 and Tanya Tan impressing you, Lavin?
Yeah, definitely impressing me, and keeping their opponent's score to just 1. That's playing good defense and good offense.
And a quick word on the Singapore Slingers. I know we were talking about it earlier on, but for those just joining the broadcast, the latest news on the Singapore Slingers, you're hoping to be back in action in the early part of 2021.
Yes, definitely. We're looking forward to come back in early 2021 with the tournaments, with different groups, coming to play together in different countries, and then the top teams of these groups, will play the finals.
So that's something to look forward to. The Singapore Slingers, Singapore's only professional basketball team, and they do so well. 3 finals in the last 4 seasons. And make sure you check out the Singapore Slingers YouTube channel and find out more about the Singapore Slingers home court. So get into the Singapore Slingers now and give Lavin, Delvin, Hanbin, all the Singapore Slingers current players and legends of yesteryear your support, as they've been a huge part of helping us get this event off the ground, along with our supporting partners of the Basketball Association of Singapore, our prize sponsors, Foot Locker. We're broadcasting live from B2 of this incredible flagship Foot Locker store on Orchard Road, the biggest in Asia. And thanks as well to One Play Sports, our broadcast partners, and indeed Nike, who've provided thousands of dollars of Nike vouchers, as another 1-pointer goes down from 𝐓𝐇𝐄 as part of the prize slate for next Sunday's grand final, where the boys and girls champions will pick up a 1-year product endorsement deal with Foot Locker, along with an exclusive Nike experience. So the stakes are high here, and no wonder there's been tears already today, with teams going out that thought they were going to go through, and of course the sheer unadulterated joy that we saw from Asha and Entong of SG Basketball White. Here, well, we haven't seen a 21 game yet, but Yishun Town, if they went through the gears, might not be far off it. They're dominating SG Basketball Black. As another one goes down, 9-1. I don't think we've seen a team get to double digits inside 6 minutes before. We might be about to see it now. That one, the little toss attempt from 𝐓𝐇𝐄 doesn't drop. Going for 2, not going down for Losado Santiago, just as the shot clock expired. Tanya Tan, this to get them into double figures, and down it goes. Joy to watch, aren't they? This Yishun Town, I think Reagan's spot on the money, Lavin. Is this the most impressive team you've seen so far?
I mean, yes, definitely most impressive team, in terms of defense and offense, locking it down, making sure not giving their opponents room to breathe.
My word, I thought they were going to score there from a good 2 feet outside the arc. They're just dropping buckets at will, and spare a thought for poor old SG Basketball Black. Losado Santiago and Diana came into this without a win to the ledger, and they're not going to get one here either. Rebound picked up defensively by Losado Santiago. That's more like it. Another point on the board, but Yishun Town can take their foot off the gas now. They will be playing, and that, tell you what a game that's shaping up to be. YTBG will be playing SG Basketball White in the final, so it'll be Entong and Asha against 𝐓𝐶 and Tanya in Saturday's semi-final. That's a game to look forward to, isn't it?
Yep, definitely. I'm looking forward to the first game too, from Group A and Group B.
Yeah, OG and Rushin of the Singapore Chinese Girls School will be taking on the Hillcrest Grays team of Engi and Dawn. So the 8 girls we now all but know the identity of, unless there's a miracle comeback from SG Basketball Black in the final 2 minutes 20, which I can't see happening. They will be the 8 girls and 4 teams that will be with us for next Saturday's semi-final, all battling it out for a chance to win those magnificent prizes. That will do. What a two that was. My word, she's impressive from distance. Both Tanya Tan and Hannah Tate have got their laser sights set when it comes to two-point shooting, and why not go for another one if you're Hannah Tate now? Gets it to Tanya, nice feint. Some of the no-look passing and moves they're giving here from these girls, it's absolutely unbelievable. Well, going through the scoreline so far from today, the highest score we've had so far was the 14-point score by Kambangan Red. I get the feeling that that might be equalled or even bettered here by YTBG. Tanya Tan off the rim for the two from Hannah Tate. Final 90 seconds. One more game still to come. It is a dead rubber, but it will be great to see Chansey Youth and Kambangan Blue up next. Reagan Lee will be joining you on commentary for that one. And don't forget to join Reagan at 2 p.m. Singapore time when we turn our attention to the final round robin games in the boys section. We'll find out our 4 boys semi-finalists between 2 and 5 o'clock local time in Singapore this afternoon. Oh, my word. It's just the casual way with which they're shooting, and they just look so, they look like they're winning 13-4, Lavin, and they look like they're playing well within themselves here, Yishun Town. They're not even having to push themselves, are they?
They're finding it easy, to take shots as they're leading along, and they're feeling confident.
Into the final 40 seconds we go. They just need 2 more points to become the highest scorers of the day so far. 1 to tie Kambangan Red, and there's the one that does tie Kambangan Red. So 14 points in the books for Yishun Town, and they'll get time with that bucket going down from Losado Santiago to get the highest score in the day so far, and that would nearly did it in style from Tanya Tan. Will they get another chance to score a point, because 14 seconds on the shot clock, 14 seconds on the game clock. Diana to sign out for SG Basketball Black in style. Can she get it away? Manages to pick up the rebound and her own shot there, which was good work. Losado Santiago, there's the turnover, and time is expired here. The buzzer hasn't gone, but time has expired, and it's a 14-5 win from YTBG, and you'd have to say they will start as one of the favourites to qualify at a Saturday semi-final. But what a mouth-watering prospect we have. In semi-final 1, it'll be Singapore Chinese Girls School up against Hillcrest Grays A. Semi-final 2 will be SG Basketball White, who dramatically qualified out of Group C against Yishun Town. And, well, 4 great teams through, Laban, and it's going to be a high-quality affair next Saturday for the girls' semi-finals.
Yeah.
So Lavin Raj is staying with me. Reagan Lee is going to also join the commentary booth for the next game, which is Chansey Youth against Kambangan Blue, and then a short break for lunch after that before we start turning our attention to the men's competition, which starts at 2. We're coming to you live here from the Playoffs 2020, a 2-on-2 basketball tournament hosted by the Foot Locker Half Court with our official sponsor, Foot Locker. It's organised brilliantly by ActiveSG, supported fully by the Basketball Association of Singapore and the Singapore Slingers, represented brilliantly here today by Lavin. Thanks to our broadcast partners, One Play Sports, and of course, our prize sponsors at Nike. Stay with us. One more game of the morning session still to come.
Life. Is it about looking perfect? Eating perfect? Or is it simply about trying? A little at a time. Living life to the fullest. that at the end of the day, we can tell ourselves, I'm doing a little better today than I did yesterday. Because hey, better beats perfect.
Elliott in the corner as they spread it. Alexander, fingertip through the basket.
Xavier Alexander time again, going downhill, challenging Stevens Thomas at the rim. And
Elliott slides through, back to Alexander. Downstairs it goes, wide open look on that left-hand side. Elliott! Boyd knocked away again. Singapore has it. Fleck in the open court. Takes it to the hole, and that might just do it.
the long arms of 𝐓𝐇𝐄 to jump, anticipate, and jump in that passing lane. Leads to a fast break.
With Active Health, there are so many ways to kickstart your journey. So really, why not make the choice to enjoy active living? You can just pop by our Active Health Labs for fitness and health assessments. To learn and adopt habits to achieve your goals. And you can always get quick self-assessments using ActiveFit and more. You're also welcome to connect with us at our events. Our family of sport champions and experts will be here to guide you. Come team up with us at ActiveSG and Active Health programs. There are plenty of interest groups for all ages, as well as spaces to explore and get together. Move better. Eat better. Rest better. Assess your fitness and health. Connect with our Active Health family of experts and advocates. Team up with your family and friends to be better together. Act now to get started at betterbeatsperfect.sg.
Welcome back to the playoffs 2v2 basketball tournament here at the Foot Locker store on Orchard Road. I'm joined with Lavin Raj. My name is Reagan Lee. Right now we have Guangxi Youth versus King Bangan Blue. Both teams 0-2 in this tournament. Doesn't look like they can make it to the semifinals, but I'm sure all four girls will be trying their hardest nevertheless. Lavin Raj, I've been talking to you all morning, trying to get you out of your shell. You seem like a huge teddy bear. I've had the pleasure to talk to you about basketball a little bit. What I'm wondering is, as a big man in this game, I know recently the three-point shot has been increasingly popular and you've almost had a lost art of the big man and in the paint. How can you bring that back in a sense?
I mean, even for myself right now, I'm coming out and shooting the threes. And you know, when you start hitting shots, you start getting more confident and you want to take more shots. So I get how the players right now, all the big men are feeling. But you know, sometimes you still have to go in and, you know, show some moves in the post, you know, in the paint, use your size, your strength. There is still something that there's got to be one of your strengths. So one way we can do this, is to try to get the guys to get into the post and work on some moves with them. Like the post moves, like what 𝐓𝐇𝐄 𝐏𝐋𝐀𝐘𝐬 used to do.
The Dream.
Yeah, the Dream. He got a hook. He got a baseline spin and all that. Some of the moves which I always watch, and
so I know you're a young kid, just born in the 2000s actually.
Yeah.
So you're talking about 𝐓𝐇𝐄 𝐏𝐿𝐿. So do you more model your game after older players? Would you say?
Not really. Right now, I'm trying. No, I don't really model my game over like 𝐓𝐇𝐄 𝐏𝐿𝐿 and all that. But I'm trying to make my basketball more, more futuristic. Like where
you can space the floor.
Yeah, definitely shoot the trees. Like something like Kristaps Porzingis is doing. Where he's killing it in the post.
They call him.
Porzingis killing it in the post. Yeah, he can shoot the trees.
You are a unicorn yourself, as being one of the youngest Singapore Slingers players signed ever, actually. The Singapore Slingers seen a lot of success, 3 out of the 4 years in the finals in the ABL. Looking forward to you and much success. I know you were a little bit of a cult favorite over in the Philippines.
Yep.
Why do you think people love you so much?
I mean,
what is it?
I'm not really sure, but every time I go on the court, I give it my 100%.
I think it's that smile. I think it's the pearly whites.
Yeah, probably so. I do smile a lot on the court though.
With only 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in this first period, we have a low-scoring game. We have Bridget, number 52, with the shot there for Kembangam Blue. Ooh, hard defense. Nice pass inside. Bridget missing the layup that should have fallen. I'm sure she'd like that one back. Well, we've had a great morning so far. This is our final game of the women's matches today. With 1 minute and 45 seconds left in this first period, we have a low-scoring one here. Only 4 points on the board. It's a lopsided game, with Kwangsi Youth scoring their first points with 4 minutes in. I was talking a little bit with Tiran. I don't know if you're familiar with him, a former Singapore Slingers player, or former national basketball player. Yesterday I was talking with him. He was talking about how it's quite difficult when coming out from an air-conditioned shopping mall to go straight in with no warm-up, really, only a 30-second warm-up, to go play in an elite level of basketball. How do you think it's affected their game here?
Well, it's definitely going to start off. It's going to be difficult for them because they are not, unless they warm up, beforehand, start, jogging up and down the court and all that, and quickly get into some dynamic warm-up and stretching and stuff.
Yeah, actually, I saw the Singapore basketball team that actually has made it through the semifinals. The Singapore basketball team in white, Asha and Intong, they were doing stretches going up and down all in public in this shopping mall here, because they're all business when it comes to this tournament. The prize, an astounding 1-year product sponsorship from Foot Locker, an exclusive Nike experience. Even the second prize is $1,000 Nike vouchers. We'd like to thank Nike for our prize sponsorship. As you see, a missed free throw from Jie from the Kwangsi Youth team. Our first period here coming to an end with only 30 seconds left. The score is 6-2. Kembangam Blue with a lead of 4 points. Kwangsi Youth 2 possessions to get equal with Kembangam Blue, as a shot goes up and it's blocked by Bridget from Kembangam Blue. 10 seconds left. This first period is winding down to a close. Final shots up, and it does not fall, as the girls will get a break here. You've been here all morning, Lav and Raj. I'm sure you're excited to go get some lunch.
Yeah, definitely. I'm hungry. I haven't had
Sitting
breakfast.
here. You haven't had breakfast yet? Oh no. So you're telling me you guys are practicing 5 days a week now for the slingers?
Well, no, for the slingers, we are right now practicing 3 times a week.
3 times a week.
Yeah, the national team is twice a week.
How's that looking? So how's the team looking, you think, so far?
Right now we can't say much because there's only 5 at the
Top
court.
Top secret.
I mean, because there's nothing much to say because
you can't play right
now and there's nothing much we can do.
Yeah, with the COVID-19 measures, that is why we figured it out to do a 2v2 basketball, staying within the parameters of the 5-person rule. Yep. We have 1 referee out there, and we have 2 basketball players on each team with totaling 5 people, and they actually only play 1 game a day is the rule. Very tough actually to get in a rhythm with just playing one game a day. So you know they're gonna come out and put everything on the court when they're out there. I'm sure we'll see here in the second period as we're about to get underway. Lav and Raj, thank you so much for being here. I know you're excited to see the boys game. You say that you're gonna stay for that?
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna stick around and watch the boys game.
Everyone watching, stay tuned for the 2 p.m. live broadcast of the boys tournament. Things should get heated up as we have a couple of undefeated teams. We have some teams that are looking to fight their way into the semifinal off of point differential. Should be dramatic. It should be exciting. Come back at 2 p.m. to see the boys face off and to see your new teammate, Jackson, a heavy favorite coming into this tournament. Hopefully he makes it through to the semifinal. We'll just have to wait and see, as this second period has only 4 minutes left. 4 minutes left in the girls' final game of the day. Guangxi Youth versus Kembangam Blue. Kembangam Blue with a commanding lead of 5 points. It doesn't look like Guangxi Youth has a lot of fight in them left. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think they're going to mount a comeback here? If they are, they're going to have to do it soon.
Yeah, it's a 6-point lead.
I'm sure we can see a couple deuces chucked up here in a second. Some desperate points heading into the final 3 minutes and 44 seconds as we see a shot clock violation there. Great defense by Kembangam Blue. Bridget with the ball. She drives in, loses the ball for a sec, and gets the easy layup inside.
It's good to see Kembangam, giving their all, even though they are probably not going to make it to the next round.
It's great because these girls, this is the only competitive basketball they've really seen for months.
Couple of months, yeah.
Since April, really.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they're savoring every moment they can on the court. They want to win. They want the bragging rights because I'm sure these girls play basketball together all the time.
Yep.
They all know each other. They want to say that, oh, remember that time at the Foot Locker event? I broke your ankles and hit a 3 and we won. They all want the bragging rights here at the 2v2 Foot Locker tournament. How about this venue, right?
Yeah.
In the basement. How cool is this? This is the first thing I've seen in Singapore like this.
Yeah, it's my first time here today, and I didn't really expect it to be so nice.
Right? Have you been all the way up the store and everything? It's huge.
Yeah, it's huge.
It's 5 stories.
Yeah,
the biggest store in Asia, biggest Foot Locker store in Asia. It's beautiful here. Everyone come by, get your new shoes, get your drip, as the kids call it these days. You like that?
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, we are both about the same age, so
yeah, I know.
We kind of understand.
I know. It's funny because it's crazy to see because I don't know if everyone knows, but Lav and Raj here is 6'6", around. You got to be, I don't know how many, 250 kg. I know, not 250 kg, 250 pounds.
Yeah.
He's a big boy, only 20 years old. Bright future ahead, that's for sure. You just got to take care of your body.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. The legs. Get that. I'm sure you're gonna lock down that 3-point shot.
Yeah. I'm gonna be practicing my 3-point shooting all the time.
Once that starts falling, Lav and Raj is gonna be dangerous out there on the court. We have only under 2 minutes left in this final match with Guangxi Youth and Kembangam Blue. Bridget and 𝐓𝐇𝐄 taking a commanding lead of 8 points over this Guangxi youth team. It's looking like they will come away with their first victory in this tournament. They seemed to show up late. It will not be enough to go into the semifinals next weekend. But nevertheless, they are giving it their all here in the final minute of the girls 2v2 roundtable play here at the Foot Locker store on Orchard Road as 𝐓𝐇𝐄 puts up a 2-pointer, almost went in, circled around. We call that the toilet bowl. Nadia, number 17, with the ball now. Looking for a pass as she travels. Our referee called it just as it happened, on the ball there. 40 seconds left. And I think I can call it confidently now. Qualifiers Blue has gotten their first victory over Guangxi Youth. We've seen some incredible games so far. We saw that Shandong Culture against SG Basketball. That was an incredible game. We saw, I told you about the YTCB girls, Tanya and Hannah. Those should be interesting tomorrow as we see a 2-pointer go up for Bridget, but does not fall. The game coming to a close. Our final game for the girls. We will see one free throw to close it out. Let's see if 𝐓𝐇𝐄 can hit the clutch free throw. Ooh, nothing but net. Nice form, nice stroke. And that will do it. Qualifiers Blue taking the victory here, going 1-2 in this tournament. Sadly, we will not see either of these teams going forward, but I will tell you what the teams we will see are the SCGS, #SCBBQ, and the Hornets, and the Grays Team A in the semifinals, and the YTBG versus the SG Basketball White for the girls. Now, I would like to take the time to thank ActiveSG for organizing the event, and thank you to our official sponsors, Foot Locker, our prize sponsor Nike, and our broadcasting sponsor One Play Sports, and our supporting partners Basketball Association Singapore and the Singapore Slingers. Wow, we've seen some incredible games today. Lavin Raj, you're impressed as it seems so.
Yeah, I'm definitely impressed, you know.
Definitely stick around for the boys. I've told you it's gonna get trippy, it's gonna get heated, because this is nothing but business here.
Yep.
We were talking about how they're around the same age as you, and we can attest to a 1-year sponsorship for Foot Locker. That's no joke when you're a 17-year-old.
Yeah, for 17 years old.
That's free sneakers.
Yeah.
That's bragging rights to your friends, to the ladies.
Yeah.
We'll be looking forward to seeing that. We have upcoming boys action starting at 2 p.m. later today. Let's just go over our scores for today. Starting with Shandong Culture and SG Basketball. That was a tight game. SG Basketball White beating them by 11 points. A little bit of drama there as SG Basketball squeezes in the semifinal over Shandong Culture just by a point differential. I would like to see everyone here back at 2 p.m. for the boys action. Thank you very much for joining me. My name is Reagan Lee. This is Lavin Raj. Anything to say?
You know, thanks for having me here, and I'm definitely looking forward to go and take a shot at the Foot Locker court right now.
Thank you, everyone. We will see you at 2 p.m.